Alright, I got us, I think I got us whiling out over here. I think I got us finally up and running. Let me check the old stream here. Looks like we are indeed up and running.
Let's go.
Alright. Let's wait for a few of these goons to show up here.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yo, where my people at? Oh, let me share this real quick. Okay, got that rolling. Let's see what's going on here. Yo, what's up, peoples? Hopefully I start to flood in now. Let's roll back. Okay, looks like we got Rockin' hanging out. Yeah, we can blame Rockin' for this one, because Rockin' definitely set us up for failure.
Fact,
Ooh, let me check my audio. Hello? Yeah, okay, I'm good to go. Let's check stream audio too. Yo, Rockin', let me know if this is too loud, okay? Okay. Alright, looking like we're getting in. Yo, hit us with some chats. I'm gonna hit you guys with the memes, okay? I'm gonna hit you guys with the memes. We got a debunk, another quote-unquote debunk. I got my boy Wally here with me, bro. We about to have a time, okay? I can't wait to see. Yo, comic curator, if you're there, make sure you clip this part and make sure you play it like 3 times over for dramatic effect too, because that's what the cool kids do apparently.
Yeah.
So be sure to, okay? Yo, keep on coming in, boys. I know we got a few more hanging out. I hope you guys are ready for a hilarious stream. We've got something big for you, boys. Look at this. DC Comics misconceptions cleared up. Debunking DC comic debaters by comic curator. Hey.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go. And since he's cool with obviously using my video and his, I'm sure he's chill with us streaming. All right, let's see how many more of y'all coming in here. Okay, we're getting a few in here. Let's go.
How many we got?
We just got a few.
Okay,
we got 5, 6 people chilling in, according to me. All right, so I'm gonna catch everyone up on the beef that apparently has occurred. Even though I think I just made like 1 random response video to this guy, or did I make 2? I don't even remember. Was it 1? Yeah, because I don't typically let people live that rent free in my life, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so basically, I came out with this full cosmology video, and this guy came out with like a 43-minute debunk that had like a bunch of content in it that was like really outdated, and it was kind of funny. But I mean, here we are again, and I mean, I guess we're making it happen in terms of that, aren't we? Yeah, 1 year later, this guy returns thinking he's pulling another W. I'm not gonna lie, so far I've watched 3 minutes of this video, and dude, it was like super funny, which I'll admit he is right about one thing, and we'll get to that, but everything else was pretty suspect. It was pretty suspect. So with no further ado, boys, me and my boy Wally here, who's a fellow contributor to the Omni-Lanterns, is going to make it happen, man. Make this review happen of 1 year later. How did comic curator possibly destroy Lumos Theromax? What you got to say? What you got to say over there?
I mean, I watched like half of this video on like already, and like Lumos, he low-key folded you, bro. Like I ain't sure if your career is about to survive this. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not, dude. What do I do? No,
bro.
Internet drama. No.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Bro,
Yo,
like,
hit us up in chat. What's happening? What's happening in chat, boys? What's the craziest thing y'all expect inside this chat? I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it, boys.
Bro, you know that like one scan of like Cass thinking he can like feel the reader, except like this time like he's actually coming to like take Lumos's lunch money.
I can feel the reader, and I can also feel his lunch money.
Literally, bro.
Let's go. Let's fucking go,
Yeah.
boys. Okay, let's do it. Let's make it fucking happen.
2 seconds later, we watch, we check Lumos' history, and he's in fact been reading Cosmic Armor Superman, so like, yo.
Yep, you got me. I mean, even if I did, it'd be 2 fucking chapters, right? It's the funny thing about
IRL.
Cosmic Armor Superman, you know, shit.
Bro, IRL cast confirmed, yo.
Yep, facts.
Alright, let's peep this.
All right, let's see what exactly the video has to offer us here. First response video, which was like hilarious by some super hardcore Cosmic Armor Superman fan. Let's
Yup.
go.
Oh, that's
Yep.
funny, because I woke up a year after I posted that video only to find out you made your rebuttal, and you're featuring Cosmic Armor Superman in a pure hate video.
Because none of that stuff is. That wasn't
Wait,
a
hold on.
hate video. Wait a minute. Yeah, what? This isn't even a hate video. What is this guy talking
Wait,
about?
hold on. Are we just gonna ignore the fact that like he made that video? It got, I'm pretty sure it got debunked like a day later. And
Yeah.
then he says, yo, I woke up 1 year later and you'd already made your response. Like, bro, what?
Dude,
What do you mean?
No, dude, you don't understand. I don't think you understand how much of a W that is for him, because
Yeah.
his reaction speed wasn't quite on par. But like, I don't hate. I mean,
Wait.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like respond to his video the day it came out or anything. But
Nah, like,
mean,
I think it was like
is
a
what
few
it
days
is.
later. But
Yeah.
like, wait, hold on. Like,
And hold on, I'm
did
pretty
he just
sure.
like,
I'm pretty sure that cast video I made came out, the one he used the thumbnail for, like, it might have been to that video. I don't even remember because it's been like a year ago, man. Who responds to a video from
wait,
like
didn't
a
he
year
like
ago?
comment? Didn't he like comment on that video like a few days later? Like, what?
Hold up, should I go look for that?
Yeah, actually check, cause like I might be tripping, but like I'm pretty sure, like I remember,
Let's find out. Let's find out. Hold up.
cause like yo, that would be hilarious as shit.
I gotta find my videos here. Let's just go to all my videos and scroll until I find this shit. Let's see.
Like, bro.
But
Lumos,
Lumos, yeah, classic.
Yeah.
The classic.
Goated,
Okay, let's
goated,
go.
goated.
Let's see here. Let's see. I don't see. Unless it's on one of the replies. I don't see him.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him so far. Yeah, got plenty of got plenty of OGs back in this point. Let's go.
Hey, fact.
I have a bunch of his
Yo,
fans
don't-
in here for sure, though.
Yeah, I remembered at least one person.
I think
who
that was-
pro Cosmic Armor Superman.
I think that he responded to the initial video I had released in the first place. But let's
Yeah.
get back to it. Let's see what happens.
I bet.
10-year-old content from Final Crisis and Grant Morrison exclusively. And the funny part actually is
Oh, I see. So we're not allowed to discuss the old generation of information. We're only allowed to discuss the new one. So basically, you're telling everybody that we're not allowed to discuss the feats and origins of Michael Keaton's Batman in the 80s because Christian Bale came out after that. But then we're not allowed to talk about Christian Bale because Ben Affleck came out after that. But now we're
Okay.
not allowed to talk about...
hold on.
Damn.
This is the
Damn.
dumbest. Okay, I'm being mean. Okay. This is one of the worst.
Another, bro.
This is one of the
another
worst
hit.
comparisons you could possibly do, okay?
Dude.
The reason why you can't make this analogy is because none of these characters have a shared continuity, okay? That's why it's silly to compare all these things, okay? Now, the reason why you can do it with DC cosmology is it's all one shared cosmology across the board, okay? As time goes on, they all are different. They are developed in different ways, but they're all still contained in one thing. If you don't believe me, Cosmic Armor Superman, both the tombstone that says to be continued is referenced in Snyder's content. We directly see characters from what was it, the Unexpecteds? What were
Yeah,
the Unexpecteds,
and, like,
literally see
that's
it,
like-
and Mandraak shows up in that
Yeah.
story.
And like, hold on, I have a question. Like, yo,
What?
he's saying that like after everything you've said, because I'm pretty sure like we verbatim just watched it. Like, yo, you were saying like you were just using newer information. Does that mean like, yo, I can't talk about history because we have shit now? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like
Like, bro.
obviously there might have been differences in like the cosmology at different points in time, but just like in the real world, our understanding of cosmology was limited and it expanded. You can talk about our ideas of like somebody else's interpretations of cosmology in the prehistoric age, but that doesn't mean they were right. We have more information now to help us give us a better idea, and not 100%, but at least a more true idea of what cosmology is. And like, DC's no different.
And like what's even worse is that like when Multiversity came out and like gave us all these like different things to like confirm stuff, like the multiverse map and like a bunch of different confirmations about the overvoid and shit, that happened after Flashpoint, where Pandora and Barry like literally merged the Vertigo, main continuity DC, and Wildstorm universes. So like
I don't even know if he would 100% buy like the Vertigo being tied in. Not that it matters, because Scott Snyder literally ties in their origin with his origin.
Yeah, like, bro.
But I mean, in interviews with what's his name?
Grant Morrison? Scott Snyder?
No, not the writers. Snyder had an interview with what was the big YouTuber? What's his name?
Imaginary Axis.
Yeah, Imaginary Axis. Like, you can go watch those, and you can literally see him explain like Lucifer, and tying him into like the current stuff as well, which includes the presence and all that fun jazz as well simultaneously. So like in the newest stuff, we have them referencing all forms of those cosmologies within the current one. But you know, it is what it is.
About Ben Affleck, because Robert Pattinson came out. Oh gosh, those old stories. Why would we ever want to talk about those?
That maybe he's not up to date on the most current relevant information, because he thinks that assuming that
Lumos, I'm just doing this just to be fun and for funsies. I'm not really upset.
Just for funsies.
Anything, but when you
Super
say
not
stuff
upset.
like that, there's nobody else in the world that has more author and content creator.
Nobody?
Here's just a few of them that I've had since.
No one else in the world.
Video. How many have you had?
The dualities. I mean, plenty. Like, what do you mean? Most of this shit's online. Like, hold on. Most of this shit's online. You could go look it up. It's not even that hard.
Could you imagine flexing? Lumos, pause for a second. Could you imagine flexing that you went to the trouble of DMing numerous like authors?
Shit.
That you went through the internet DMing numerous authors for scaling purposes just so that you're right. Imagine like, bro, Jesus Christ, that's like...
Imagine. Okay, I'm just saying, like, imagine you saying, hey, yo, I've got more author states than anybody because I messaged them on Twitter. It's like, well, okay, I just use all the publicly available, like, statements, you know, like the many you showed from IGN. I mean, the most notorious ones you can use for Grant Morrison and the IGN stuff. I'll use anything that is like a sit-down interview, but I'll admit the difference between you and me is I don't like message people to get their interpretations, because none of that's being... I feel like that's the least credible amount of information possible, because people are just gonna tell you whatever the fuck they want to get you out of the fucking call.
Yeah, and even then,
if you choose to, then like more power to you. But
even then, like people like, for example, Al Ewing, who's like a popular Marvel writer, like J.M. DeMatteis, Mariah Carey, M.R. Carey, who like wrote all of Lucifer and shit. Like all of these different writers, even the ones from main continuity DC, like. Even on Twitter, they literally say, "Yo, don't take our word for shit." Like,
I think content is always more important. Yeah.
Like, they're literally telling you they're not a good source of information to go to, and like, you go to them anyway. Like,
I mean, if
why
everyone has like their own like way to like look at scaling, like, and like I'll grant that for sure. I just don't think that I think that's like the least viable way to go about like how to get like appropriate information. I would always take information from the source material over like an underhanded statement in a DM from somebody, or like a Twitter statement or something like that. Or,
because like didn't Bendis literally state, like, someone asked Bendis like, yo, how strong do you think Superman is? And he said like subplanetary, and it's like,
dang, I guess Superman is subplanetary now.
That's crazy, bro. Like,
got him. You're mad.
Like,
Superman fans getting angry. I can hear
like,
Zeus cry somewhere.
Where? Fact.
Alright, let's see what else you got.
Completely what I said in my video. The Cosmic Armor Superman writes to be continued on its own tombstone. The Cosmic Armor is all story personified.
All story from our multiverse. Okay?
It's it's almost like Mandrak came back like 10 years later.
Yeah, it's almost like we see that tombstone in the Unexpected run on Nil.
And it's almost like Mandrak himself addresses the tombstone.
Which, keep in mind,
Bro.
Nil is located on that map, and we have higher layers than that now that other characters have traveled to. So, like, Cass didn't even reach the highest level of cosmology yet. So,
yeah.
I mean, wow, isn't that crazy how, like, Cosmic Armor Superman fits inside the current cosmology? Like, you could see where he was at, and we still have evidence he's still there or something?
Another L to Lumos's career.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
Crazy.
Oh god, I'm taking so many L's.
Before, the present, and the after. I did mention that in my video. So basically what the Cosmic Armor Superman is doing is making sure that all future events in all of story are allowed to continue to be. So
see, like, that's the thing that triggers me, is he's not wrong when he says that, but the scope, size, and scale is like so removed in like the way they perceive these things, because they're only looking at us versus
he's not wrong
everything
but
now
like
in the Overworld.
Yeah, like he's not wrong, but like he's not right either. Like, okay, they stopped like Mandrak, like Dax Novu, but like, okay, say they stopped Mandrak, but then like they failed to like stop the anti-life dark side. Like everything ends then. Like then what? Like your story's finished. Or like, wait, didn't fucking Rox Ogama, the other monitor, literally become a second Mandrak?
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds later? Like, bro.
Like I just
like
I don't understand what like the I don't you got to learn, man, that comics move on, and as a result the stories have to get grander, bigger, larger, and more grandiose. And when that's reflected inside the writing, you can't just use stuff from 10 years ago to justify that. I can't believe we're 2 minutes in and we're already like fucking 30 minutes into this conversation, because it's like so filled with like half truths and like large extrapolations from like a smaller preponderance of evidence to go like real ham.
Flipped what I said in my video.
I don't think I did, but
because that would the duality doesn't scale that high. But I mean,
it doesn't.
I don't know. I think I would take the word of Grant Morrison himself, and I'll quote him in his newest DC book that is in direct reference to the cosmology of DC.
Oh, Lumos, you don't seem to understand. Grant Morrison only wrote the foreword in this book, which
and this is
just
true.
The intro page. He's not.
This is one thing that I will agree 100% on. That I did mistake him being the author for this, and I'll grant him this 100%. But clearly, since they're drawing Grant Morrison on here, this has gone through some level of credence. Otherwise, Grant Morrison wouldn't have signed off on having done so in the first place. But either way, I mean, more power to you. Even the statements that I use inside this book are literally references to the content that happens inside Snyder's run. So I'm still technically not wrong on anything, because in Death Metal, they literally have a reference to him being the supreme being of the Omniverse.
Here was written by someone completely different. But I'm going to get into that. Don't worry. Oh, by the way, check out the date that I already purchased this book. December 16th, 2021, which far predates your rebuttal video.
I had this book long before my rebuttal video, kiddo. Look at the purchase date. I bought this one right around when it first came out. Well, I bought it the day it came out, okay, which was late November. So chill. It's the end of the world.
Yo, let's get on with like the downfall of Lumos, bro. Like I want to watch this.
Named Perpetua.
Wrong. Sorry. This entire
a celestial creator named Perpetua. Wrong. How do you wrong Perpetua, a celestial creator? What do you mean?
Dude, that's like a mathematician saying, "Yo, 1 + 1 is 2," and then like an anti, going like wrong. Like, bro, like, what do you mean wrong?
What do you mean? You can't wrong that. Like, it doesn't work that way. What do you mean?
You're like the past like the past 6 years have been explaining how it was Perpetua who made the verse. Like, what do you mean,
How do
Aaron?
I win with you, bro? What is happening? How are you just like not acknowledging
Yeah.
like even the basic stuff?
I get it. Nah, it's because like the Overvoid like created the multiverse, so like it can't be Perpetua. I got that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You just ain't cut out like comic curator,
yeah,
bro.
I guess
I've been
not.
telling you this, bro. I've been telling you this.
Wrong. Sorry. This entire cosmology was confirmed by Scott Snyder and all of the other people working on it to be a complete, bold new rewrite of the entire DCU. This has...
Okay, hold up.
Weird how that didn't happen.
We just had a massive claim. Okay, I gotta turn this music down a little bit. We just had a massive claim. Okay. Yo.
Hey, no.
The current DC cosmology is a bold new rewrite of everything in cosmology. Okay? Now, the next thing he says better be the most substantive shit ever. Like this had best be some of like the most grandiose evidence I've ever seen. And you know what? Maybe he's got some real sick like evidence from like an interview or something that like I've never seen before. So this better be awesome.
This interview, because I saw it, it's not like, it's like a, if...
Oh, hold on, I want to get to it, I want to see the evidence he's repping here.
Nothing to do with the Final Crisis era cosmology.
It has nothing to do with it, even though it references it and has its characters inside of its verse? Huh? What?
This interview that he's about to show does not say what he thinks it does.
What?
And here's a video, if you would like it, that proves this.
Oh, okay, here's a video.
Is like definitely nothing that crazy with this one. But with 6, I mean, the things that happen at the end are pretty bold, you know, and definitely rewrite a lot of sort of mythology of the DCU.
One more time?
No, and definitely rewrite a lot of.
What was that?
Rewrite a lot of.
If it rewrites it, I don't understand what was rewritten with Cosmic Armor Superman. What was rewritten with him?
Yo, comic curator, do you think like whenever something's rewritten, that just means like everything like rewritten and like deleted entirely are not the same thing, you know?
Well,
like,
no,
for example,
because like they weren't deleted; they're still there. They didn't touch up on Cosmic Armor Superman at all.
Yeah, and like when he says like 6, was he talking about like Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 6?
Because that looks like an older Morrison too. Yeah, if I could get I could actually see the entire interview that's there. Which I don't know. Hold on, let me check. Maybe I doubt it, but like maybe.
No, he didn't.
That's actually pretty dope though. Okay, you know, big shout outs to him. He says Lumos is a great comic enthusiast, so don't hate, go sub instead.
Yeah.
Hey, big W's to comic curator here because I'm being pretty hard on him in this video. But like, yeah, it would be dope to see the full context of that because that looks like a metal interview or a death metal interview.
And not to mention like
that sounds
issue
like
6. Issue 6 is when like Golden Wonder Woman like essentially like makes the entire universe like a single like thing, like single timeline, like that sounds like Dark Knight's death metal reference.
Even if you do take that wildly out of context clip, like real hardcore, maybe he's being honest there. But even if that is the case, I can't think of anything with Cosmic Armor Superman that was rewritten. What did they rewrite with him?
And even then, like rewritten doesn't mean like removed and completely exempt. Like, you know how back in the day, right? The Speed Force, like it was referenced as something that Barry Allen created, and like with current stuff, like the Speed Force hasn't been like deleted or anything, but yeah, it has been rewritten. Like it was like a force of like the source. Like Barry Allen didn't create that shit. Like
I think that sometimes whenever people expand on an idea, people consider that a retcon. But just because it was never stated that the Speed Force was a cosmic energy that has ties directly to the source, doesn't mean that that's rewriting all of the Speed Force. No, it's just an expansion of the lore, which is 90% of what's happening in everything we're referencing here.
Yeah.
And those stories, what I realized they have in common is that they're daring. They're not afraid to redo creation.
Okay, hold up. I gotta. This music is like wilding again. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 more times.
And definitely rewrite and definitely rewrite a lot of and definitely rewrite a lot of sort of mythology of the DCU and.
Okay, none of this is in reference to what you're exclusively talking about. It does rewrite a lot, but you have to then follow up even further and prove that anything to do with Cosmic Armor Superman has been changed. You're using one generic statement of somebody saying, well, this story rewrites a lot, to say, well, this story rewrites this, and this, with no evidence of that. Like, I don't understand how to argue with that exactly. Or to, like, grapple with that conversation. It doesn't make sense.
The Omniverse's supreme being. Supreme being.
Supreme. Death Metal also proves this.
Being.
So when you hear Grant Morrison tell you that the orrery contains Marvel, DC,
Wrong.
and every other fiction possible, you will make a video and tell everybody that the presence from DC Comics and Vertigo is actually the god and supreme being of every single fiction within the orrery of worlds.
Well,
Got it?
first off,
Within DC's context, yeah.
first off, like,
What do you mean?
I love, like, comic curator. I love how, like, you're not even trying to, like, put an effort into, like, being, like, sneaky about the dishonesty. Like, you straight up cut out the question that was asked, like, is in reference to the void. Like, I linked Lumos that same ING report. Like, I guarantee if he looks at it, like, bro, like, if you're gonna, like, try to be sneaky, it's in this chat. Like,
okay,
if you're gonna be, like, sneaky dishonest about something, like, at least do it properly, bro. Like, don't make it obvious as hell.
Hold up, what was the question in there? Morrison pretty much is the first thing he says? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's find it, let's find it, let's find it, let's find it, let's find it. Yeah, Morrison.
The last thing in the question is, like, multiverse, question mark.
Oh god, where is this stupid thing? I hate tracking down all this cash shit.
Yeah.
I've done it a billion times, I'll do it again. Morrison, come on, where is it? Fifth World. Totally. Yeah, pretty much. Not immediate.
Yeah, it's there. Up.
Oh, did I miss
Just
it?
a little bit. I think it's here. Oh no, never mind.
I trusted you. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I must have missed it at some point in time. Hold up, what was it? Pretty much San Diego Comic-Con.
In the multiverse again.
Okay, I know it's in here somewhere, dude. I know it's in here.
Yeah.
One story. Absolutely. Like, let's see, completely. Just assume. Man, come on now. Where is this damn comment? Good. Yeah, again. Yeah. Yo, if you find it in yours, let me know. Cause I want to fucking hunt down all this shit.
Oh, hold on, let me peep it too.
Pronounced Wotan. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I found it. Okay, so here's the question. You stated in Final Crisis and Beyond about the nature of the story itself. I think that you've definitely succeeded in that regard, particularly in Beyond and FC7. There are so many layers to this, I'd like to get your thoughts on a few things I've noticed. First off, you've spoken about the power of story and the power of the DC multiverse in particular, and expressed a certain level of awe at how these creations and these stories outlast their creators significantly. This sentiment seems to play out directly when Zilovala faces down Mandrak's dream of the ultimate void by telling him she found a story in the germ world that's unstoppable and indestructible, about a child rocketed to Earth and to a doomed planet, from a doomed planet. Is that pretty much what you were going for?
It literally references the void in the question. Like, and then scroll down, like, because you only showed the first paragraph of that, like, question, like, answer, I mean. Like, just scroll down, because you...
Oh, you're talking about down here? The second half of that?
Oh yeah, never mind.
Okay. So yeah, pretty much the fact that DC Multiverse is a story about genuine good and moral men you can't beat. The fact that DC Universe exists in the real world means that humanity made up a story about a genuinely moral man who can't be beat. The story is really cool to learn from, especially when we're under a lot of pressure today from a lot of angles. So again, like I said to you earlier, it's the idea of acknowledging a genuine depth of reality between these fictions. It's not the fourth wall. It's not the post-modern or meta. I hate those terms because they undermine the simple notion that everything we can experience is real, including dreams and stories. These characters in here are real in the universe with us, and they have stories to tell us, or they have shit to tell us. And that's what I find exciting. They're real in a sense. You can hold them. They're real. They're actually alive in our hands, etc., etc. So, like, wait, no, this isn't the same one.
This is the one that... Hold on.
Oh, I just checked over. This is a different one. Okay, I'll just read off what he says in here. It says something about in the multiverse again. I don't think this was it. Yeah, this isn't it. Hold up. Let's keep rolling. Same exact opening, though. That must be a classic Morrison meme. Lol. This might honestly be a different interview.
As I remember finding in this one.
I mean, either way you look at it. Like, I don't understand that if somebody in an interview says that my verse contains all verses and there is a genuine God, either way you look at it, like, there's a genuine God invented in that verse. Like, you've just got to play by the rules of the verse. Like, I don't make the rules, man. If this guy says all these things, and then a guy who's writing in the same verse comes after him and says, yeah, there's a God that stands above them all, then you have to acknowledge that that's the case, right? Especially if you want to take writer statements like as canon, right? Because the source, the presence, same thing, literally as statements via Snyder running everything. Top dog. Big boy. Big boy Mondo. Okay? So, like, no matter how you try and look at it, it's a W. Alright. You ready to continue?
Yeah.
Let's just read this original interview from IGN with Morrison out, just so people can understand the actual downplay that Lumos is attempting to invoke upon you.
I don't understand how that would be downplay. Wouldn't that be upscaling?
Okay, let's begin. These bubbles, there's so many of them out there that there's the Marvel multiverse, and then there's the DC multiverse, and over there's
if you
the
find that, let me know.
Multiverse. I figure it gives us a scope that every comics universe exists somewhere in there, but the DC universe is the one we're familiar with, the Orrery of Worlds as we call it, and it's floating in this source with multiple multiverses.
Okay, so clearly, whenever he's referring to all of these things, he's referring to everything here, like up top, as its own, right? And then every comics universe exists somewhere within those bubbles. But the DC universe, the one we're familiar with, the Orrery of Worlds, as we've called it. So clearly in this context, he's using DC universe to be befitting of the entire Orrery, like the entire map. And those other bubbles are floating elsewhere. But yeah.
Multiverses, not universes.
Yeah, and there's multiple multiverses inside the bleed.
That's not even the best part. Here's another statement from the exact same book and author that tells you that the presence might not be the actual god of the entire Omniverse. He's just the god of what we know of, potentially. Interesting how it's from the exact same book, but Lumos decided to neglect this entire scam. Interesting.
I mean, it's there, yeah.
The supreme being
possibly
and arbiter of the known multiverse, but possibly.
So if right now we have like Morrison statements and stuff, or Snyder statements and stuff saying he's top in verse, well, until we get more evidence that he's not, then like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what do you want from me? I can't decipher something we haven't been told. Or this could possibly be in reference to the Great Darkness, which is kind of up in the air as to who exactly scales above who in the current moment, like if they were to clash, because we've never seen something like that.
Possibly not of the greater Omniverse. Interesting. Do you know what the greater Omniverse actually is in this cosmology? It's the Overvoid.
Yeah, it is.
And here's another scan.
I don't understand how it was a W.
Introduction. Existence is a recurring process. Countless multiverses have existed and then cease to exist because of the actions of higher beings.
True.
Once reality restarts, it begins as a vast sea of surging forces within which near omnipotent entities such as the presence come into being to monitor various aspects of creation. So the presence came to be in the current cosmology.
Wait, whoa. So the presence has to literally make a form for itself to come into being, like in our multiverse, to monitor various aspects of creation. This isn't like the presence was formed inside our multiverse. Because in the current day, even if I grant that, the presence is in control of everything. The presence is the one giving powers to hands to make multiverses. How did he give Perpetua the power to create our multiverse from inside the multiverse when she started it? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that, comic creator or curator. Like, how does that make any sense? Please explain. It doesn't make any sense. and you want to know what's even funnier is like, yo, if you continue reading this shit, primal energies are powerful and raw, awaiting sentient life to activate them. Once the first beings, such as Earth's Hecate, which keep in mind, Hecate was created energies from the presence. Magic and the collective unconscious and the God Sphere all are his magics that came from Perpetua. He didn't even create them. So like, it's funny because you try to use like the near omnipotent stuff, which the presence like inverse would be, but out of like once you reach outside of that, like I'm okay with like having that go. It's like even Lucifer managed to break away from his plans and stuff like that. I don't think that that's like unreasonable or anything along those lines to say. But just because you created the entire verse and you scale above everybody else in the verse doesn't mean you have to be omnipotent, right? Like over like the entire Overvoid. Like I don't think that that's like even crazy.
From the exact same book, wouldn't you say? Well, this is a good one. You'll love this. Primal energies are often powerful and raw, awaiting sentient life to activate them. Once these first beings, such as Earth's Hecate, emerge throughout existence, many learn how to tap into and manipulate these energies to remake their local environments. This is called magic by those who utilize it. Magic reshapes the lesser life forms touched by it. And then the next page. Creating creatures of immense power and wisdom, but who are still motivated by basic needs and desires. These are gods. And they impose themselves
I don't
on
understand.
inferior beings, feeding on their love, fear, and worship through a network of beliefs that are later dubbed stories.
Okay, so what's really funny here is he literally just limited the scope of stories, which is hilarious. And true, because Cosmic Armor Superman sealed all the stories inside our verse. That makes sense, because if you check the map of the multiverse over here, like the source wall and like the monitor sphere, like stories end at like limbo. Like limbo is where stories go to die. And the thing that's funny to me is that Cass made it past that. He made it into the monitor sphere, which is like beyond story, right? That makes sense. But that's as far as he got. That's the end of story. That's where his story ends. He can't go past that as far as we've seen, because I'm a feats over statements kind of guy. So like,
I've been muted the whole time, bruh.
Sounds like you did it yourself. But like, it triggers me to say that like, yeah, the collective unconscious as well as the God sphere. Yeah, that's where all those things exist. Those are like a variety of powers that come from the presence, or like it's one of the 6 most foundational energies of the cosmology. And if you read Scott Snyder's 2016 run or 2018 run? Yeah, the 2018 run, you would know that. That's not surprising. This isn't new. That's not crazy information or anything like that. This is like basic information for like the last decade. Let's continue though.
So wait a second, you're telling me that all the gods, including the presence, who is made manifest out of the void, suckles on story power for sustenance. So without
he doesn't.
story,
Okay.
the presence has no power whatsoever.
So I'd like to address this shit here too, because this here is him referencing like the actual people and like the actual collective unconscious of us in the real world.
Yeah.
That would be my argument. Because
I think
if he created the collective unconscious and all the other forces, like, and they're considered like child's play to him, like what? How would he amp himself on? Like, it doesn't make sense.
So this whole argument is on like the presupposition, but that like the multiverse powers like the presence, but like how. Like, he existed before the multiverse is there, so like...
Yeah, well, that's his argument.
What would be powering him?
That's his argument, is that he didn't. He was just one of the first beings to rise up in the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
But, like, it's weird to think that, like, the presence gave Perpetua the energies to create the verse.
Yeah.
And the presence was in it,
it's
but
like,
now he's the one who governs over all of them.
Yeah, so,
and
like...
Perpetua before she created the multiverse? Like, it doesn't make sense.
So it's like, hold on, so... The presence or the source gives hands the energies to create a multiverse, right? And then, like, that multiverse is, like, what the presence is dependent upon to, like, live. Even though, like, trillions of creations in the overvoid have died, and, like, the source just remained. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
like,
are you telling me that everything to do with the Chronicler was just, like, wrong?
Yeah, like... And even then, like, dude, like... I don't think we even want to, like, talk about, like, Mandrax L in, like, the unexpected.
Yeah, like, he got negged by some random nobody.
I don't even think we want to, like, talk about that shit. Like...
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep going.
Story. The presence has no power whatsoever. Interesting. Who is the persona?
Nothing there. Hold on. I also got notice. It's funny how he also uses garbage ass fucking
story power
thumbnail or this copy. I don't understand how he couldn't get a good copy of this picture.
Yeah.
But that being said, he says even I was shaped by forces external to me. You know what they are.
Yeah, and literally earlier in this story,
he does not say story here.
Yeah, no, earlier in this issue of Lucifer, because this is Lucifer, like, 75, right? Earlier in this, like, run, where Lucifer confronts the Giant Brothers, Lucifer literally breaks the fourth wall and, like, talks about the comic that they're, like, in. So, like, he's well aware of, like, they're being writers, and, like,
even
the story that they're... Yeah, like... And hold on, in your debunk to like YFV's like who can beat like Cass, whenever he mentioned that like Cass was like confronting the reader in like that one scan, you literally said no, he's like far below like the reader and writer because they're on Earth 33. The same thing would apply here. Like
the only difference is it's on a much higher level because they're in the overvoid at this point.
Yeah.
Like okay, I don't think Earth 33 takes place above the overvoid.
Yeah,
think about that. Think about the scaling there, dude. Holy shit, that scaling chain is next gen.
Dude, Quantum Superman, bro, Superboy Prime, low key crazy, bro. The scaling is low key crazy.
Shit, dude, that's some wild shit, bro. Holy shit. Okay, let's keep going.
Out story, the presence.
He's powerless. No power whatsoever. Yeah, he's completely powerless, dude, without story.
Who is the personification of all story again?
from our multiverse.
The difference between his statements and my statements is I'm using Grant Morrison's statements from now in reference.
No, you're not. You haven't shown anything from Grant Morrison in recent years.
Actually, even if I didn't use the DC book, which to be fair, he did hit me pretty hard on, I'm still referencing that in unison with other things. Take, for example, the Scott Snyder interviews where he directly calls Grant Morrison to make sure his cosmology was still befitting and to see if it fit in line with Grant Morrison's. Like,
Grant Morrison and like Scott Snyder both worked on like the Rebirth shit, like all the like stuff like leading from Rebirth onwards. That was all Grant Morrison and Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder wouldn't make a change to the cosmology unless, or like even, he wouldn't even add to the cosmology unless like Grant Morrison like clarified that like, yeah, this still fits with
this makes
my
sense.
cosmology. It's the same one.
Like, that's it. If you have all these interviews and shit, why are you only selectively picking and choosing which ones make your argument sound good? Right? Like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand like, how to rationalize that in my head unless I'm claiming you're being a little bit biased, which I'm not gonna lie, it feels like that. I don't want to call you that, but it feels like that because if I can easily find this, and you're the expert who has all the most interviews of all time, how come you haven't found that interview, and why aren't you using that to justify Scott Snyder's verse and his absorption of Grant Morrison's inside the kernel? It doesn't make sense.
And like, since like Comic Curator, if you're watching this, since you like writer statements so much, remember when you asked the writer of the Future's State, like Raven, you asked him yourself, like, yo, did Raven who did like Raven absorb? And he even said it depends on who was there at the time. You brought up Lucifer, Michael, Cass, and like all that. And funny thing is, one, she didn't even consume the entire thing. She consumed the orrery of worlds, and she reached up to, like, she consumed the Speed Force Wall and New Genesis. Two, Mandrake's in the Dark Multiverse, so she couldn't absorb that anyway. Cass is fucking dead and beyond her reach entirely. Lucifer is out in the Great Darkness. Michael is dead. Raphael is gone. Metron is dead. So, like, all these high-tier characters that you bring up, and hell, fucking the Presence left the verse already. He's not, like, he's not in our DC multiverse to be consumed anyway.
We know for a fact he's at the far side of the void, governing over the Judges of the Source, the Chronicler, and the Hands. It's like, there's no arguing that in current day, unless you're just leaving out content.
Yeah, like, it was stated that the Source resides at the center of the greater Omniverse, aka the Overvoid. Guess what, bro? Like, the Source is the Presence. So, he's not in our multiverse. And hasn't been for a long-ass time. Yeah, so, like, I don't know, those questions are based in, like, dishonesty and, like, hate bonering for, like, other characters and, like, wanting, like, Cass and, like, Mandrake to be top dogs. And it's like, okay, fair, you like a character, but, like, how far are you actually gonna go to, like, make it so that, like, them being, like, top 5 in verse, like, makes sense? Like, how many writers are you gonna go to who, like, didn't even, like, write this story? Like, why?
I'll admit that sometimes it is hard to compile like this really large abstract thing that is all these different writers all trying to work towards one goal. Like, I'll grant you that, like, 100%.
Yeah.
But like, when you have one guy who's making the biggest contributions and he's working with the last guy who made the biggest contributions, who was just building off of the last guy who made like the larger contributions, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that, like, yo, this is where we're currently at.
Yeah.
You may not like where we're currently at. You may not like that we're moving past what was, but guess what? Like, we are.
Yeah. And dude, you even asked, like, yo, did she absorb, like, Perpetua and Hecate? Bro, in the Future State story, that's like years in the future. All of these characters are dead by now. Kate died in her story before like the 2018 Justice League Dark Run started, and Perpetua, sorry, bad. She died at the end of fucking Death Metal. Like, we saw the judges pull up and delete everything. Even if you don't want to admit that the Darkest Night killed her, like, they took care of all that shit anyway.
Yeah.
So like
I'll admit, like, feature stories get a little bit weird, but like, even if I grant them, like, even if I grant like all of that, it doesn't change the fact that like some character from within the multiverse, like, we're gonna have to see
like,
some real whack shit in order to prove that they are like on a level like equatable to being from beyond.
In Shazam 2022, no 2021, sorry. Black Adam came from the future state story to the main timeline, Shazam, and explained to him, like, yo, what happened with the future state Raven shit? Because, like, and, like, dude, you're saying, like, she absorbed all these crazy-ass characters. She couldn't even get rid of fucking, like, Black Adam. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. I can't rationalize this. Let's continue. We still have 20 more minutes of this.
Here's the brand
nightmare.
new stuff that actually came out in 2022.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
In my view, the general rule of thumb is that each of these alternate worlds should be treated as its own potential franchise rather than squandered as disposable cannon fodder for the 19th nervous rerun of Crisis on Infinite Earths. The major comics universe, Earth 8 for instance, should reflect the actual Marvel universe.
What is he trying to prove with this?
Now, what you've told us, Lumos, is that the presence overrides the entire summation of all of Marvel Comics, all of Archie Comics.
Okay. Yeah, in their verse. It should reflect. That doesn't mean it actually is.
DC has no rights to Marvel.
Yeah, they can't claim that, okay? But obviously, it's a stand-in for it, and they are indeed taking that stance on the stand-in for them. Yeah, I don't understand why you think this is a hot take or anything. Marvel does this exact same thing.
Yeah, like in their fucking Thor run where the Black Winter pulls up.
the fucking DC characters.
Yeah, literally, like, bro.
Come on. Like, are you for real right now?
Like, if you want to use, like, dude, do you know how weird it would be if, like, yo, like, in the DC orrery, right, there's the entire Marvel universe, right? But then if we go into the Marvel universe, if we check their orrery, aka the Superflow, and we check the universes in there, and we find the entire DC cosmology in there, like, bro, what? Like, there can't just be infinite feedback loops of Marvel and DC containing each other, especially when they don't have the rights to either of them regardless. Like this, and, like, even if they did, like, that just doesn't, like, it doesn't
work
function.
Yeah, like, if you're gonna try and do, like, if you're gonna try to pull, like, this super hyper meta stuff, like, I mean, that's cool, dude. Like, you do you, but that doesn't mean it's, like, in any shape, way, or form what you think it is. You're using a should statement to be an is statement. Yeah. And that's not how it works. Okay?
And even if you want to, like, bring up, like, oh, yeah, Marvel and DC, like, had crossovers and all that. They've had these different things. They have, like, the amalgam verse and shit. Okay, cool. Like, even if you want to, like, bring Marvel into the main, or DC into the main canon of, like, each respective verse, they brought up Archie Comics. Like, what do you do for that? Like,
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not gonna sugar. I don't have like, I can't sit here and give you, like, 100% reasoning, but it's like, yo, what the fuck is happening with this idea right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a second to check out chat real quick. Yo, we got Fef chilling in chat. We got Rockin' chilling in chat. Jason asks, how do you feel about the idea Commander Rogers is actually Captain America composite? I feel like it would be an interesting take. It's supposed to represent him for sure, but that doesn't mean it actually is. Like, that's the thing that's frustrating about like other verse or like alternative universes that are reflective of other universes. That doesn't mean they actually are. Like, it clearly cannot mean
Lumos getting folded by this dude, bro. Yo, like first Fafnir W, first Fafnir W. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah, it's definitely something going on in here. I can sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
But okay, let's continue. Let's see what's going on here. Yo, big W's in chat for y'all hanging out with us and dealing with this nightmare. Okay, let's get back to it.
And every single other fiction. Again, I told you in my last video that all of the bubbles in the Orrery of Worlds.
So hold on, he's saying, "Wow, dude, isn't it ridiculous that the presence would be over all of them, but it's okay for Cosmic Armor Superman to be?" What?
Yeah, nah, that's weird.
No, that's impossible. You can't do that, dude. You'd be saying that. It's such downplay. And then you're saying, well, Cass can do it. And it's like, well, Cass didn't do shit. Like, feat-wise, he fought Mandraak, which is good. It's top tier within, like, this multiversal map. But, like, guess what? There's characters beyond that. The Presence is one of them.
Are separate continuities and canons from every single fiction and franchise possible. They're not copies.
Welcome to an
Those
infinite
are the
universe.
Actual other universes. Sorry,
No,
mate.
not true. Should be, but close.
And also, here's another great one that Grant released in 2022. The final crisis, as I saw it, for a paper universe like DC's, would be that the terminal war between is and isn't, between story and the blank page.
True.
What would happen if the void of the page took issue with the quality of material imposed upon it and decided to fight back by spontaneously generating a living concept capable of devouring narrative itself? A nihilistic cosmic vampire, Mandraak, whose only dream was to drain the multiverse dry of story material, then lie bloated.
Oh my god, he said it right there, to drain the multiverse. He admitted earlier that these characters were in the overvoid and there's an infinite amount of verses out in the overvoid.
Yeah.
This only affects this multiverse. Another reason.
Beneath a dead
that it's
sun
that good.
dying. So what you've told everybody is that the presence actually takes precedence over the meta page itself. And that the presence could easily tank the overvoid, the most powerful thing ever, generating its own destructive force to destroy and consume literally everything in the paper universe. The presence is not outside of.
So,
yo, Lumos, do I just drop you like all the scans of the void or like the overvoid being stated as like a part of the presence, or just the presence itself, like the same person? Do I just drop those?
Go for it while we're listening to the narration here. Like
I thought we were gonna keep his. I thought we were gonna keep his. Like,
I mean, I thought so. You don't have to, but like, anybody who's like sat down and actually read content on like the overvoid outside of just this one story is gonna be able to put two and two together. Perpetua herself was capable of like ripping parts of the overvoid entirely off and like creating anti-monitor world forger out of it.
Yeah, like Lucifer was straight up manipulating the void.
He became one with the fucking void.
Yeah, like he was
on that
even
level.
before then. Like even before then, he was manipulating the void to make his new creations. Since he can't because he can't like create stuff out of nothing. That's like Michael's power. But like he was straight up like manipulating the void to like get past that problem. Oh, and this one is straight from Grant Morrison himself. Oh god.
Like I don't understand how this was like the W. I don't like what was it? This came out in 2022 and it reinforces everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guess what? There's beings that travel the overvoid and use it for its own. It's like their own purposes. They don't care about the overvoid. Like, okay.
Yeah, I posted all three. If you want to pop it out in stream so that everyone can see it.
Okay, let me roll it over. Oh, dude, but he has the most scans ever, though. Didn't you know?
Yeah. Do we just call him like the Donald Trump of like writer statements? Like he has all the writer statements.
This is my favorite one. Mateus literally says the void is contained within the presence. He says, but just feel free to continue your own interpretation.
Just, like, click on the Discord scan and, like, put, like, open in browser and it'll automatically, like, like, show the entire thing so that, like, everyone on stream can see it.
Yeah, I mean, Mateus consistently is saying that shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, Chief. Part of the presence seems contained within the presence seems pretty straightforward because he gives you your own, and then just so he doesn't trigger anybody, he says, "Feel free to come up with your own interpretation," which means that's his interpretation.
Yeah, and Grant Morrison states, "Yo, we have used like Michael Carey's view on God, Kirby's source, and the void, and the presence are one person, and that's God."
Yeah,
they're all the same characters. So like, chill with the like cast cockriding and like presence downplay. Like chill, bro.
I just don't get how this guy can brag about being the most informed person ever, but like only selectively use things. Like he's really informed. I'll grant him that 100%. It's just he's picking and choosing what data to make him look better. And I mean, if that's you do you, but like that's not how I operate. There'll be times where even you will come up with some shit to me and I'll be like, God damn it, I fucking hate that shit. I can't believe that's real. But like it is what it is. You have to change and move with the times. You can't just continuously find yourself in like the same meta for all of eternity and expect to, I don't know, like get anywhere. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
The paper universe. He's inside
the paper universe.
I think everybody knows that now, reading and watching all of my material.
To developing the specific Justice League Incarnate and Infinite Frontier, like this was coming out during that period, so it makes a lot of sense for his comments to be more relevant now than they were back then. Because
excuse me, but I'm the guy who interviewed the writers of Infinite Frontier and the entire unkindness story. I asked them.
You do realize that asking somebody in a tweet isn't an interview, right? But okay, let's keep going.
Specifically about who the Alpha was. Again, they told us that the Presence.
Oh, here we go.
And Michael and Lucifer were completely destroyed and consumed by Raven. So I went on Twitter and I asked them.
Pause on the last scan that he showed. Because I guarantee. Yeah, because I guarantee it doesn't say what he actually says. Let's read this out, right? In the future state, Black Adam story, did Raven devour the universe, multiverse, or the omniverse itself? It seemed like she was on par with the presence itself. That was the question.
Okay.
Jeremy Adams, who writes, says,
Sorry.
Jason Todd's wiling right now. But like, other than that's just the question, right?
No, I read the answer.
Jeremy Adams replies, if not more powerful at that point. The way I look at it, at that point, she was the most powerful thing in any universe.
Universe. Okay, hold on. Maybe the next one. Maybe there's another one after this. Okay.
We're completely destroyed and consumed by Raven. So I went on.
Hold up. Let's keep going.
She devoured ancient artifacts and magic and reality. Literally nothing could stop. Even though Black Adam escaped, we don't talk about that.
You're like, your ninja's question, if you don't mind answering. Safe to say Overvoid, corrupted side of Overvoid are still beyond unkindness, right? I don't know. Conceptually, unkindness absorbs everything, even in the pocket of the quintessence, which they thought they were safe. So if it could connect to the Overvoid at that point, it was this powerful, then possibly. This is like the most... This is like this is not what this guy thinks it is. What the fuck? Okay. The writer himself says, I don't know. He absorbed the quintessence. So, if it could connect with the Overvoid at some point, possibly?
Then possibly.
So
I mean, it took out Superman.
Maybe it could get there. And keep in mind, like, the presence at this point in time is on the other side of the void. So, I don't see one reference to the presence here. Am I crazy?
Other than in the question.
Yeah.
That was kind of wiling.
What?
On Twitter, and I asked them, well, what about Mandraak in the Overvoid? The authors have
let's peep this.
Okay. Let's look. Let's hear him first.
Literally every character in DC Comics, and that.
What? That is not. Hold up.
Yo, I could have sworn that like DC Comics was still going on.
Yo,
like
he uses this scan as like another one.
Yeah, literally.
But it's the same one. What?
I can't, bro. I can't sometimes.
He doesn't say that.
Back, like,
he doesn't say
pop
that. What
back
is
like
happening?
a little bit back because I think he used a scan even before these. Nah, like before this. Yeah, here.
Okay, this is a different one though, which I'll grant him that. But like,
yeah.
this scan is the same thing as this scan.
One. Yeah,
and he's like hyping this up to mean he's above the presence when the presence doesn't have anything to do here. Now I guess maybe if you want to take the interpretation Overvoid is inside of the presence, maybe he could devour like an aspect of the presence. But even at best, Jeremy Adams here says possibly. Like he's not even sure. He even says I don't know. Conceptually, the unkindness is absorbing everything. The Overvoid is like beyond concepts. This doesn't even make sense. Like 3 layers over.
In DC Comics. And that there was no possibility of anybody getting out of that. And then I came in shocked by that, saying, well, did she consume Mandrake in the Overvoid? And the authors immediately reply to me and say, okay, well, basically, no, we might have gone too far, not those two.
That's not what he said. We read it out,
dude.
Bro.
This guy is
interesting. How
he's got his own narrative. He's pushing so hard. What is happening?
Yo, Lumos, remember what? Yo, pause this real quick.
What the fuck?
Yo, Lumos, remember when I told you, like, yo, when Dr. Manhattan pulled up, remember when I trolled you and Jobber and said, yo, when Dr. Manhattan pulled up, he was so scared of Wally West, he had to BFR him. Like, this dude's on that level of shit right now, bro. Like,
I don't understand how you extrapolate he's beyond the presence by this scan. The presence, we know for a fact, even if you don't think, I can't even say that because we have like 8 billion statements of him literally scaling. Like, I don't know, Chief. Like, I'm trying really hard to see things from your perspective, comic curator, but like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, the presence is top of the verse as of death metal. It's stated. He's on the far side of the void. Okay? He gives all the powers that make entire multiverses themselves. So clearly he scales well above any of these. This character is strong enough to kill people in a multiverse. So he scales to the presence? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That would mean at best he would be in the ranges of like Perpetua.
Like, not even then, like, listen to this scaling chain, right? And like see how far removed it is from like this theory, right? Like, alright, so first we have like creation, right? Which like Cosmic Armor Superman like died protecting like our creation.
One multiverse, as his scan said earlier.
One multiverse to Mandrake, and Mandrake could not break out of the dark multiverse.
Hold on, I've got to rephrase that. Our home multiverse, which contains multiple, because I know if I don't, he'll come back and say, well, there's multiple multiverses inside ours. So clearly I'm talking about our home singular multiverse, like the multiversal map, which contains multiple multiverses inside the Ori.
Everything that goes up to the source wall is what we reference as multiverse. Or like, if it makes you feel any better, creation, if you want to put it that way.
Our creation,
So Cass saves one creation and dies, right? Because he's beyond repair, to a guy who was incomprehensibly like fodder to the Overvoid, fell into the dark multiverse and could not get out until he consumed multiple people's stories. And then when he did come out, he died to two creation level beings. Like, what? Okay, like, here's the powers that these people got, right? This dude Neon and Alden Quench, terrible last names.
Fact.
They go to the World Forge, right? And they get the power of creation, right? And with the power of, like, our creation, they fold Mandrake and shove him back in the dark multiverse.
Facts.
And then you have, above this, you have, like, the characters who, like, can actually one-shot creation. Like, for example, Prolia, for example. You have people above this in like the hands tier, like Darkest Night, Perpetua, like Superboy Prime currently.
And fucking Golden Wonder Woman literally has statements of being the strongest character who's ever been.
Yeah, and then you have
from
like
multiverse.
And then you have above that, you have like the Judge tier characters, like for example, Chronicler, Cosmic Raptor, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then above that, you have like the presence, like the source level characters, or like the Overvoid level characters, which are like bro,
Like I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. Like this isn't even what he thinks it is, but he's wanking it into something.
Absolutely.
It's like,
okay, so this video is like 10 minutes long, and I only got about 2 minutes into your actual video, and 100%.
It's okay, we're doing the same.
Every line that you spouted in that video was completely objectively inaccurate, and I've debunked it with author
super inaccurate
interviews, guidebook.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see it too.
Didn't want to show, as well
because
as
I didn't
other
want
things
to show
directly
them
from the comics that completely flip everything you were saying.
Wait, has he
Now, again,
demonstrated
I understand
anything
that
from the
you don't
comics
like
besides
having
this
it-
panel so far?
no. Hold on.
I'm
Well,
literally
he showed
reviewing.
the DC.
Oh, he showed
the
this
DC
scan
multiverse.
earlier. He did show this
That's
scan
the
earlier
same one.
too.
That's the same one.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
the
saying.
same one.
He showed this scan earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, he showed the DC multiverse map, which appeared in hey, it appeared in a multiverse.
He literally has not demonstrated a comic yet, outside of this one scan, which doesn't
do anything.
It's not saying what he thinks it does, but okay.
Armor Superman. It's very clear based on your other videos and comments that you make that you don't like this story. And you know what? That's fine.
Hold on. It's not that I don't like this story. I don't think the story is bad. I just don't think that it's as powerful as everyone makes it. There's a difference. There's a difference between those two things. I don't hate on Cass. I'm just real with Cass. Cass is strong. He's one of the stronger characters inside our home multiverse. I'm not going to deny that. But you're the one taking it well past that with virtually no evidence.
Other than like misinterpreted like statements from writers and guidebooks that
really
they don't
really. I hate to use the term misinterpreted because it sounds so negative, but like dramatically positioned scans to make yourself sound better in reference to what authors say. Like, because like even when I look at what they're saying, they're not matching up with what you believe. And like I don't know how to rectify that with you. Like we just went through we're 12 minutes in. It's been nothing but author statements, and I'd say half of them prove my point, or like unironically just aren't what you say they are. Like I'm not gonna say all of them prove my point, but like if you provide a scan that doesn't debunk my point but doesn't prove yours, outside of an extreme, like the most extreme interpretation and extrapolation, I don't know how, like, that's a W on your part, right? Like, if I ask you to prove something and you say, well, here's a scan, and I look at the scan and the scan doesn't say what you said it's going to prove, I don't, how's that a bad on me? Like, I don't look bad in that situation. And once again, I'm not trying to hate on the guy or anything like that. Clearly, we have some pretty dramatic differences whenever it comes to the interpretations of like DC cosmology. But like, dude, come on, your extrapolations are pretty extreme. Like,
it's like,
really
hold on, keep this
extreme.
paused real quick. It's like we have the DC book supporting us. We have the DC book of lists that came out just before that.
We have everything since the 2018 run supporting us.
Yeah, we have everything from the 2018 run supporting us. We have all of like we have like such traditional like comic book like evidence from like every Spectre run, or like every non-Spectre run that references the presence as our creator and the supreme being. Like, hold on, did you even Lumos, did you even bring up the Spectre 2001 run? Like the Spectre 2001 run, where he literally merges with the void, and it states he became a part of the divine presence himself.
Yeah.
Like,
but like that's just things that debunk his point, so he's not gonna be cool with that, right? Like, he only gives you evidence to reinforce like the perspective of Cass has to be best. This is the strongest, and like that's
and like
There's
for
other
example,
things.
it's like, first you take comic book scans and like you highly misinterpret them to make your narrative like sort of work, when like if you read the page they don't say what you're saying at all. You take like highly different interpretational standpoints to help benefit your case. You take either out of context like writer statements or like highly misinterpreted writer statements, and you also come up with like entire headcanons about what characters are or aren't. And it's like,
okay, real quick, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna hang out with chat for just a second. We got a few chats coming in. Jason says during reads of Commander Rogers, his past accolades are acknowledged. Hot take: Marvel's martial arts are vastly more developed than DC's by billions of years. That's curious. I don't know. I'd have to look into that because I'm not as big into like the martial arts side of comics that like in DC and Marvel. So that would actually be really interesting. I'm sure my boy Jobbers and Goons has done a video on that at some point in time. Okay, Rockin' Al says unkindness Raven ate everyone in DC except for the ones that escaped the Tower of Fate. I guess the Tower of Fate was beyond her, I guess, at some point in time. Because Superman 1 million was a student of the source, so each one shot
hold on.
Presence.
I remember that fucking future state story. She had like her unkindness form, along with the help of like 3 Hell Lords, a Lord of Chaos, like Vandal Savage when he's a Lord of Chaos.
Let's go.
And the help of all 7 deadly sins help her take out the Orrery of Worlds and New Genesis.
Yeah, by yourself, right? That's how it works.
Oh yeah, my fault. And then hold on.
By yourself, come on.
In this alternate future story, like let's say she consumes the entire multiverse, right? The 4th dimension, which is a realm in our multiverse, is time. I could have sworn like she removed, like let's say she deleted all of that. Why is every single story in
why is this an alternative future? Yeah, why is this an alternative future instead of the canon?
No, not even that. Like, she deletes all of time. Weird how, like, I'm still reading my Flash comics and, like, nothing's happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like, clearly this was an alternative future just like every other future state. And, like, higher beings and shit like that ain't playing around with, like, silly shit like that, right?
And, like, all the characters that, like, you asked whether they, like, lived or like whether they got consumed by, or like all the characters that like you've asked like whether they were consumed by like unkindness Raven are either dead or not in the multiverse anymore.
Or the writer himself doesn't even know if she did because he even specified like he's not sure. Like he doesn't want to know. He doesn't even want to specify in that field. Okay, you can't use that as hyperlink whenever like the writer themselves is like, I don't know, dude. Like maybe. Like I don't. If somebody gives you a maybe on something, that's like a 50-50 possibly, and you're assuming the positive in that situation with no evidence, even when he didn't even specify the characters you thought he specified. Like what the fuck?
This is what the 2015 Cass online hype does to a motherfucker.
It's Cass brain rot, dude. It brain rotted people's minds into thinking that like Cass was it, and that's the strongest it'll ever be. But let's get back to this. We gotta keep going on this. Okay? We'll be here all day if we don't continue.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like the story, but if you're gonna be an educator on YouTube and try to talk about comics like this, you really can't exclude other snips of information from that guide.
What?
Or from
couldn't have said it better myself.
You did. You selected just that one picture, that one scan, and disregarded the other pages that follow that explain it in a completely different way.
Yo, comic curator, how many comic scans do you have in this?
I had an explanation for that whenever you brought it up. I'm not hiding anything, okay? I'm down to chat whenever it comes to anything on this level, okay? I'm not hiding those things. I even have a justification for those things, right? And I also think it's funny that you're going to... I guess it's not too crazy. Let's say, if you don't like the book and you don't think it's reasonable to use, then using snippets from it to prove me wrong would be irrelevant, because you're just saying you don't like the book, right? Which I can understand that if you don't want to take that interpretation. But if you don't want to take any of those interpretations, you could still take death metal, and it's the same thing, where they say, he governs over all of the hands who travel the overvoid, control the overvoid, tear up the overvoid, do whatever they want with the overvoid, and other writer statements that say the overvoid is a part of the presence, so he'd be cool with that. Like, all those things are in unison. Even if he's not the supreme ruler of the omniverse, or greater omniverse, possibly, emphasis on the possibly, that wouldn't be unreasonable. I have things that make sense in that department, whether it's the Great Darkness,
and like Yeah.
Like,
And like even if you don't
what?
even if you don't take every single appearance in like comic books relating to God in any way, shape, or form as like true, or like you don't like any guidebook statement that supports that either, or like any of the like writer statements that support that either, along with your own writer statements that are heavily like up to interpretation and like blatantly like dishonest to a degree, where because like you're purposefully like taking out like the question that was asked and like making like super weird arguments, even if you don't want to take any of that into consideration. Dude, we have Infinite Frontier where the whole verse was remade and they explain the origin where the light created the overvoid. I wonder who the light is described as for like the entirety of like DC's existence. Oh wait, it's the presence.
Yeah, true.
Described as the light so many times.
And
but yeah, let's go on with the video.
Overvoid keeps growing because things grow in it, and he's sending people to go grow it. But
Yeah.
On your next rebuttal. So I would love to talk to you one-on-one and educate you more on the DC.
This guy wants to educate me.
In that.
Okay.
This is all for fun. I think your videos are great. That's why I picked you.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
99%.
He calls me a fucking idiot and says I want to teach you, but perfect. I like your stuff.
Like that's why I hyped you up to the point where like other people just wanted to hear me talk about your cosmic armor and overvoid.
Really? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Wait, what? No.
Correct, and it wasn't correct.
Well, hold on. What?
Hold on. Pause. He's saying that like he hyped you up so much that like people just wanted to watch him talk about you. That's not how debunks work. People watch your debunks because of who you're debunking.
I mean, possibly. I could see, it wouldn't blow my mind that I'm creating like a lot of content like this and it's going pretty hard. Especially like my cosmology video, which is, I believe, what he originally responded to.
Yeah.
That he would like, that he's got a lot of people that are hitting him up. And he probably liked a lot of my content leading up into that. So like, it wouldn't surprise me. I'll take him at honest here.
Yeah, no, but like, for example, like average like death battle debunkers, right? Like people don't watch death battle debunks because of like, oh yeah, like dude, I'm super interested on like this YouTuber's take. It's like, no, they want to see like death battle getting debunked and like them being dumb as hell.
I mean, somebody has a point that they don't necessarily agree with, so they want somebody who they feel like is a credible source in the field to go ham, especially somebody who's got like a lot of knowledge in the department. And from what I understand, this guy is really big on Quora, I think. And so like it would make sense that if I started coming up with a new, or not coming up with a new meta, but establishing the new meta that DC is pushing as like relevant, that the old guards would show up to kind of defend that. And like I said, I'm sure he hyped up my content beforehand or something. I'll be willing to give him some level of charity in that department. Yeah. But like, I mean, it is weird to see somebody I've never had any contact with whatsoever be that excited about my content without anything beforehand. Especially since that was my first big jump into DC cosmology. But
chat, I want all of you in chat to like acknowledge this guy's name, Comic Curator, and yet how many comic scans he's posted in his videos versus writer statements.
Right now we have 2.
I just want to point that out, bro. I just want to point that out, bro.
Yeah, right now we're at 2. So
yeah. All right, let's go.
Let's see what we got, boys.
Again, because you're not privy to the same interviews that I have. They're
not interviews. What you're doing are not interviews.
I've been diving into this stuff for a long time, so it's only natural that you didn't quite understand it, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm not making fun of you or anything like that. I think you're awesome. I just want to try to get you to the right place so you can tell other people what the actual answers are. So again, the video is already a little bit too long, so I'm going to rapid fire through some other stuff and other.
This is like the weirdest non-debunk I've ever seen in my life.
Here's an interview with George Thorne, who is the
This is not an interview. You do realize that this is not an interview. Texting somebody is not an interview. Like, what?
Yo, Lumos. You're gonna write a book.
Hold on. The Omniverse, the Overvoid, Monitor Mind. It seems that the greater Omniverse equals the Overvoid Death Metal. I'm just curious to see if you can get these things. The Omnivores is everything that it exists or it can't exist. The source is the source of everything.
Yeah.
The source is the presence, and the presence is the source. This confirms that.
Okay, and then he says the Omniverse contains all and even that which doesn't exist, and the source is the wellspring for the existence factor. Is that the correct way to lay it out? And then he says yes, and then he just says thank you. Bro, how does this help your point? This helps our point.
Yeah, this is... Unironically, this is a good scan. The problem is you're not even using it in the right way.
Yeah.
Low-key. This is good. Okay. Hey, comic curator, you did it. You did it. You fucking got a banger ass scan. You got a banger ass conversation in DMs with Jeff Thorne. You know what? That's
curator,
10 out of 10.
Can we have the rest? Comic curator.
Yeah, send the rest of these, dude, because this is awesome stuff.
Low key.
The source of everything would include the Overvoid.
Yeah.
Everything, because clearly we're talking on the level of the Overvoid as per your question.
Yo, comic curator, like I'll post my DMs in like the description. Yo, can you just like send the rest of these DMs real quick? Like,
I'm trying to think so hard and to try and like put all the pieces together to like make sense of how he comes to the conclusion he comes to when the evidence he's giving doesn't say what he thinks. I need to rewind. I couldn't have heard this right. I'm
going to rapid fire through some other stuff and other tidbits of information that you might not be aware of. So here we go. Here's an interview with George Thorne, who is the writer of the new Green Lantern series from 2021 and 2022. I asked him about Mandraak, the Overvoid, and the source. Is the source the Overvoid? Or anything like that? Mr. Thorne replies, no, the source is the first thing to come out of the Overvoid. So they're separate.
Where's that scan? Am I missing that?
Nah, so unless we're both illiterate. We're not missing it.
The source, according.
He did not ask that. Why is it when you provide a scan, it doesn't say what you wanted to say? Okay.
And then when
I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna rewind it one more time to make sure I'm not stupid. Okay? Because I've got to be stupid right now. Okay.
He was the writer of the new Green Lantern series from 2020.
Because I read that run. It was really good.
I asked him about Mandraak, the Overvoid, and the source.
Okay, Mandraak, the Overvoid, and the source. Okay.
Where's Mandraak
Overvoid?
In this?
Here's the Overvoid.
Yeah.
I don't see the source.
No, the source was referenced in the message before.
Okay.
In the message after.
Okay, after, yeah, but he said he asked that. I don't know. Maybe it's above that. Maybe it's above that. But he doesn't say that one comes from the other.
Okay,
he says the source is the source of everything.
Okay, Lumos, think of like what we just offered and how much credence we have to grant to DMs that like we can't like see or like even assume about.
Even if I do, this does not say what he thinks it says. His response says the omnivores is everything that exists or can exist. The source is the source of everything.
I think when it comes to omnivores, I think he means like omniverse, but that was just like a typo because like I think like
that could be the case. That would make sense. That would make sense. But even if I grant that, what does this have to do?
The source
with
Mandraak.
The source coming from the Overvoid.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It does not apply to what he's saying. He's just lying about these scans.
The Overvoid.
I mean, this is a repeating event that we've seen.
Yeah, he gets good scans and then he just says something and then he refers back to the scan. But if you read the scan, it doesn't say what he thinks he says. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting low key triggered at this because it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how to rationalize what he's saying. Yo, chat, tell me, does this say what he's saying it does? Does this say the source comes from the Overvoid? Because it doesn't say so. The Omniverse is everything that exists or can exist. The source is the source of everything. Thus, the Omniverse came from the source.
Yeah.
You're the Omniverse contains all.
Maybe there's
even that
like
doesn't
there's like
exist.
some other messages that
The
like
Omniverse,
exist in the
your response doesn't even fucking make sense to what he said, because he says, "Thank you for the confirmation. The Omniverse contains all, and even that which doesn't exist." It says can exist, and the source is the wellspring for that existence factor. The source created all of those things in the Omniverse. You're agreeing with his point, but you make another point to justify this scan? Like, I don't even understand. Like,
it's like,
what is happening?
Yo, Lumos.
I feel like I'm in limbo right now, bro. What is happening
Yo,
right now?
Lumos, this is like, I'm gonna like break it down for you so that like you can comprehend this in like mortal terms, because like clearly he's like a 4D
He's
being,
transcendental right now,
Yo,
bro. Like, no hate or
Lumos,
anything, but he's on some shit, bro.
Lumos. So like, I agree with you that 1 + 1 is 2. So like, yo, I'm gonna just hit up my homeboy like Jamal and tell him like, yo, 1 + 1 is like 3, and then I'm gonna show him like a recording of us saying it's 1 + 1 is 2. I bet. Good. Yeah. That's the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I've never
like,
seen somebody try to do something like this to prove a point
dude,
before. It's so
this
silly.
is so high level. This is some like
This is
high
some
level
IQ
IQ.
shit. Yeah,
No,
dude.
the source is the first thing to come out of the overvoid, so they're separate.
That's not
So
what
you
that says.
know that
And we have writer
presence
statements proving
is
that's
a
wrong.
Step below the source, according to Scott Snyder. So if that's the case,
That wasn't Scott Snyder who even said that.
Yeah, bro.
That was Jeff Thorne.
This isn't real, bro. This isn't real.
Once
Dude.
again, confirmed by Scott Snyder and also Mr. Thorne here. They agree with each other. The presence is below, the source is in the middle, the overvoid is above all of them, and can.
Okay, this is Imaginary Axis saying this at some point in time.
Yeah. He's saying they're all different aspects and manifestations of the same creator. The presence simply has a name and face, which have been molded into Yahweh by the dreams and perception of mankind. The source is a less manifest version, and the monitor mind even less manifest. So you're unironically flipping the order it gave of the presence, the source, and then the overvoid.
I don't understand why we'd use Imaginary Access, a guy who hasn't written one comic for DC, as a justifying principle for your point.
Oh, no. Let's use this. Because it clearly says what he says, and like doesn't help like us in like any way, shape, or form. No, let's grant this because it like helps us.
Yeah, like I can't even grant this because it's coming from like. Don't get me wrong. I like Imaginary Access for his interviews, but because somebody does interviews doesn't mean they have good takes whenever it comes to like content, right? Like I wouldn't want an I wouldn't like quote an IGN interviewer independently from an interview on his opinions of DC cosmology as a viable source. Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense.
Containing all of them. The overvoid is the one who made Mandrak, not the source, not the presence. So the totem there and the hierarchy is very, very
No, it
clear.
didn't, but okay.
That's some stuff.
I mean, even if it did that, so the overvoid could have made him if he wanted. Like, I don't give a fuck. Even though,
it didn't.
unironically, you know, that like all the monitors came from the light itself. But like,
I mean, even then, like we know the monitors came from the actual monitor, the brother to the anti-monitor, and that was the monitor mind in the void containing our multiverse that sent Dax Novu into like our multiverse, which then split into Cass and Mandrak. So like even more wrong on your like favorite character's origins. Like that's crazy.
I just don't like get it. Like,
yeah.
What are you trying to do? Like we're like 12 steps removed from something we shouldn't have even.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, let's continue. I want to see your career.
Yeah, like I don't get where he's trying. Like he's got like these 9 brain or like these 90 brain IQ plays, and then you look at his evidence for it, and it's like actually a child like read this and like forgot about what was on the page. Like,
I want to see your like channel get fucked even more.
Mandrak and the cosmic armor are a whole tier above the source, And the source is a whole tier above the presence. And that's
facts.
how it works.
Facts.
Next up, let's shoot back to the Lucifer series.
Okay.
Where it's
Hold on. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. That last statement he just made.
Yeah.
Yo, where's the death metal scan?
The one of
Arlo, put your shit.
I'll drop it in general.
Yeah, drop that shit real quick. Just so everyone's on the same page. I'm gonna hit up everyone with this shit, dude. This is so funny to me. So he says that like he's a tier below, okay? Which keep in mind.
I'll put it in this general chat.
Okay. This shit is so funny.
Cringe, motherfucker.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, and I guarantee this next scan he's using is from the 2016 Lucifer run, and that was not the they were literally in the dreaming, and that was a dream of Lucifer's. Like, chill, bro.
Okay, so wait, where's this shit? Okay, throughout the void, beings like Perpetua are tasked with starting multiverses. They do this using connective energy born of the presence of the source, one and the same. Okay?
Yeah,
even if you don't want to say they're one and the same, that means that the presence literally has the power on that level.
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And Perpetua, guess what? One of her minions was this idiot, Mandrake. We just forgetting about that?
Yeah, lol.
Damn. It's weird how Mandrake was said to be one of her minions, and the whole purpose of this was Perpetua was manipulating all of these people, mother of our multiverse, and her goal was to get these people to blow up the source wall so she could be free.
Put this scan on the stream, put it on the
it is,
put it in your search bar. No, it's not.
Oh, did you post another one?
Yeah, no, I posted the orange scan of Wally talking.
I'm right now. That's what we're doing. Yeah, I literally highlighted it, and the stream will take a second to catch up too. So bear with me.
I'm gonna check. I don't see it. Give me a second. Oh yeah, you are on it. It's just my stream.
The stream takes a little bit of lag.
Yeah, but it literally explains that all. Yeah, it explains that all the crises are started by Perpetua instigating them, right?
Yep.
And then if you zoom out a bit, it shows all the crises, the main crises.
Yep.
It shows Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then below that Infinite Crisis, and then 0 Hour.
Yep.
And then Final Crisis under that with Mandrake and Darkseid, and then the most recent one up to this point was Dark Knight's Metal.
But that debunks his point though, Wally. He ain't gonna post shit that.
Oh yeah, you're right. My fault.
Yeah, that beats the purpose of Cass, right?
Because he just posted a scan that debunks his argument, but it supports it because he says so. So he should be using this.
What do I do against that? I don't understand.
Yeah,
this guy boxed himself up in the corner and says he won the fight, and I'm like, bro, I don't know. Okay, let's see what he's got to say about Lucifer.
The presence's power is completely reliant on the power of belief. It's the power of data and stories, which again is mirrored in the exact same guidebook that you tried to show me. After that, if you can go back to the Super Gods book,
that wasn't even referenced to
years ago. He talks about the unified field being the ultimate God. It's not the source. It's not the presence. Both of those characters.
Okay, I don't.
Yo, is this
what?
Real?
What? Okay.
What does this have to do with anything?
Metron, the amoral science god with his dimension-traveling Mobius chair. The source was for Kirby the ultimate ground of being. What? Like the Ein Sof.
Yeah, that's the ultimate being, basically.
Beyond. Yeah. Wait. Did I mishear him say that wasn't the case? That they had a different one?
Morrison wrote years ago. He talks about the unified field being the ultimate God. It's not the source. It's not the presence.
Am I missing that in this scan?
Go back so like we can perceive that real quick. Like us mortals.
The Super Gods book that Grant Morrison wrote years ago, he talks about the unified field being the ultimate God. It's not the source, it's not the presence. Both of those characters are within the boundaries of...
Am I the only one who can't see the unified field being mentioned in the scan?
It's funny because he says the source for Kirby was the ultimate ground of being.
Yeah. Like beyond all divisions and definitions.
I don't even see the person he's referencing in here.
Bro.
What are these scans?
I can't.
You know, for being a guy as big as you are, I expect you to be hitting me with the facts, the truth. Hit me with scans, bro. Slam me with the good content. Like, why? If you're gonna own me. But like, you can't say I'm stupid and say you know about the true God and then give me a scan that tells me I'm right.
Yeah, like
I don't understand.
Comic Curator. Like right now, like you've used 3 comic book scans. 2 of them were no, 4 comic book scans. 2 of them were the exact same. The other one was a multiverse map. And the other was a Lucifer comic that happened in the Dreaming that was not referencing anything that you were talking about.
Chat, please tell me. Please tell me you're seeing this. This can't be real. This literally cannot be real. This isn't a real life. Holy cow.
Like, bro, I've read every single Lucifer story. And, like, bro, it's not, like... Add any one of us on Discord... And I will literally live stream the Lucifer comics and we will read it together. Bro, like...
This ain't what you think it is, Chief.
Yeah, it's not all that.
this ain't what you think it is, Chief. Yo, 1 second.
Alright, bet. Hey, Jesus Christ.
You the best. But yeah, I don't know what's going on here, bro. This is some next gen stuff. But who knows? Maybe there's another one afterwards. You know what? Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe there's something afterwards.
We gotta put more faith, bro.
They don't exist outside of it. The unified field is the
here we go.
source of all things. That's the true form of God.
Okay, the missing 5th force, the 5th element, of course. Lol, in reference to the movie. The elusive quality we sometimes call the spirit, which seems to be another word for reflective awareness. The universe of aimless energy transactions comes to life and is given structure and meaning whenever it interacts with consciousness. The spirit sees everywhere. Cosmologists in search of a unified field theory can start inside their own heads, where forces are demonstrably bound together in hierarchies, diagrams, and lattices.
Of theory, in consciousness, the forces.
This does not at all demonstrate it's the strongest force ever.
That's literally like a binding force in DC. And like the spirit, that's like God sphere shit.
Yeah. What?
Bro.
Hey, maybe there's more.
In his book.
He
described all of this in his book, so there's no arguing with that. And after that, I found this other article where Grant Morrison talks about how the presence and biblical gods just aren't really important or relevant in the story at all.
Yo, let's read this.
Okay. Superheroes, we know they're not real. Take away from the problems of old legends, and they do fill in the gap in secular culture because they open up dimensions of cosmic and transcendent, which is stuff legends usually have to deal with. It's not so much that they are new versions of gods, because the gods were always just our eternal qualities. Superman possesses the qualities of the very best man we can imagine at any given time. In that sense, he's divine. Batman is a representation of our dark subconscious, who nevertheless work for the good of humanity. Batman... What does this have to do with gods not being important? Okay, maybe Wired.com. Reading Super Gods, I came away with the sense that Batman and Superman are ready to step into the void left behind by aging Abrahamic gods now that our new century. I don't understand what he's trying to say here. Is he trying to say that whenever Wired.com is asking him in the real world if superheroes are replacing gods, that he extrapolates that as inverse Superman and Batman replaced the Abrahamic gods inside his verse? How silly is that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, he clearly, Grant Morrison's even referencing to like real world content here, not just like the comic book verse itself. Because he even says our representative of dark subconscious. Like,
yo, comic curator just replied to a comment I posted on his channel. Lol.
I mean, let him do it. I don't care. Let's see what else we got.
Of these authors, they don't really care too much about the presence. He's not really
funny because the presence wasn't named here.
Everything else outside, the source was always a step above the presence. And again, I can show you
not the case, but okay.
Other things, like we go back to his other work, Grant Morrison's other work, where he tells you from the Justice League series from 1997 that the presence was made manifest, again repeated in the brand new guidebook that you referenced. So I'm linking the brand new to the old, and you said there was a divide between them, and you should only be listening to the new stuff.
That's not what I'm saying.
This works.
That's literally not what I'm saying.
Is being explained by the new stuff, and
I agree.
Each other almost to the letter, almost to the exact word.
That's you're 100% right. Just not in the way you think.
From the void, who were floating in the void of creation. By the way, that's not the overvoid. It's something completely different. Say that the presence can't reach them. Inside
they were in the great darkness there. So.
Hold up. He just said the void and the overvoid are different things, even though we have people confirming them as the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, he doesn't believe the void from Vertigo and the overvoid are the same thing.
Which is funny because it's all one verse.
Yeah.
Snyder even accompanies that in verse. Like what?
Yeah. So
hold on. There's a void that's referenced in DC cosmology that isn't on the map because the Spectre runs in the 2000s, which had Hal Jordan as the fucking as the Spectre. He references the void.
Yeah, the Spectre runs Crisis on Infinite Earth.
He has his head kicked inside the void for a field goal of a lifetime. Like, come on, bro. Do your research, man.
Like, Crisis on Infinite Earths references it. Zero Hour references it.
The void. Yeah, like, what?
Yeah. Dark Knight's Death Metal references it as the void. They don't even call it the overvoid.
I guess Grant Morrison isn't a credible source because whenever everyone or whomever created the multiversity map, because I guess they just forgot about other voids that exist inside the cosmology.
That one scan that that comic curator uses all the times to prove that Mandraak is the true god of DC because of Ultraman reading the book. That one doesn't reference it as the overvoid. It calls it the void.
Void, yeah.
Justice League Incarnate calls it the void, not the overvoid.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand the W he's trying to take here, dude. This is the funniest. Yeah. You know what? At first, I was being real. I was like kid gloves on, but this is so funny, dude. Yeah. And then the fact that these two, you said these two were in the Great Darkness, right?
These two were in a realm in hell that like, fucking the presence literally didn't like give a fuck about. But we don't talk about this because like. I'm sure, like, Comic Curator knows, like, so many of Lucifer's, not Lucifer, but, like, his own avatars, like, the Presence's avatars literally reached in here.
Yeah.
Like, for example, these two are literal Hell Lords made by the Presence.
And we all know Dog Presence has rolled up to hell a few times to fucking fold everyone there, so.
Dude, this is a realm in hell. Like, bro.
What? The Presence can't reach into hell? Crazy! Even though we've seen him travel the overvoid?
And then the next scan, play it so that it goes to the next scan.
By the way, that's not the overvoid. It's something completely different. Say that the Presence can't reach...
Pause here.
Inside.
This was the Great Darkness, and guess what? That's wrong too, because the same Dark Presence, quote-unquote, was found here too. Bro. like
a lot of these statements and stuff by lesser beings confined to the multiverse or like beings who just don't know. Yeah. You could use them as a viable source of information, but if they just don't know and we have evidence they can, you can't use that as a W. You can't do it.
Okay, those two Hell Lords are talking out of their ass. This one scan that he's showing right now that is Lucifer narrating, and like this is literally the same place that the archangels like flew to and found the dark presence. That's where like it's literally the darkness. That's where they found that. And like dude, we've seen like this is the story after the 2000 Lucifer run. Like where we literally see the void and it's white.
Yeah, but
like, we even know it's a
but
different place.
that doesn't prove his point though. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to consider that suspect. Okay.
Dude, the scans he posted don't prove his point. What do you mean?
No, dude, no. He just posts scans and talks about it. Okay, let's go.
Side of that void, and again, we found that out in the Lucifer series. The presence cannot see through the void. Here's Lucifer himself saying that he can't handle it out there. He doesn't have his full power out in the void. So why would the presence be the alpha?
Yeah, wasn't he fucked up at this point in time? Lucifer?
Wait, what?
Wasn't Lucifer fucked up at this point in time?
Oh, that's Gabriel. That's
Or is
not
it Gabriel?
Lucifer,
Okay.
bro. Yeah.
Like-
and Gabriel didn't have his heart, so he was inherently weakened here.
Plus, like, I'm not sure that they would know either way. Like, they don't know what, like, presence knows exactly, but, you know, it is
I mean,
what it
no,
is.
this would make sense. So, like, it would be beyond, like, where the presence's omniscience is. Because, like, he's omniscient within, like, the void. Like, the overvoid.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes sense that, like, a being of the light wouldn't be able to see everything in the great darkness.
Yeah, into the dark, specifically. Yeah, I agree with that.
Makes sense. And it even references, like, his omniscience, where, like, he sees everything.
His omniscience only extends to what is.
Yeah. And, yo, this is the exact same scan I was referencing. Yo, wait for this to, like, zoom out, like, when you play it. Oh, yeah, shit, it says he's building a bridge from the void
into the multiverse.
Caught in 4K Ultra HD Dual Zoom Pro Max. Bro, you got caught slacking so hard.
On his own fucking panels in the next 10 seconds. It's so different, though, trust me.
But the overvoid makes mandraak and gets infected by the cosmic armor. You can clearly see the totem and hierarchy there. The presence cannot do what mandraak is able to do. And that's exactly what happened there.
What did Ultraman do the presence couldn't do? Did I miss that?
And gets infected by the cosmic armor. You can clearly see the totem and hierarchy there. The presence cannot do what mandraak is able to do. And that's exactly what happened there.
I'm so lost, bro.
What is there that he couldn't do? The guy travels like
he's
the fucking
like,
overvoid and creates
like he's trying to pull like a Jordan Peterson where like he says a lot of stuff that don't actually say anything.
Well, he said like a bunch of stuff and then followed up at the end, but the end didn't. Yeah. Everything he said leading to a conclusion didn't lead to the conclusion that he said. Like, I don't get it.
Again, moving on to the Bren.
Goddamn, please give me some. I'll hook you up with better scans than this. Jesus.
In 2020, where the presence is killed. Once the concept of the devil is removed from the Book of Destiny, the presence goes right along with it and he has no control over it. Again, the supreme being of the known multiverse, but possibly
that was interpreted as metaphorical in that story. Hold on, pause.
Clearly not.
So in this story, Lucifer was saying that without the idea of a devil, there can be no God. And given everyone in creation was fucking like mad at him for defying his function and like going against hell, like they all believed him as the devil. This is literally a metaphorical explanation as to why like he's taking the blame of like being super crazy when his rebellion was a part of that's literally what the presence wanted. The presence wanted Lucifer to rebel. He did rebel. He even wanted Michael to join him. But he was too much of a daddy's. Like, this is Lucifer taking that and explaining why all the angels are on their presence dick riding fest. Because without a villain, there can be no hero to look up to.
Yeah.
So another out of context scan.
What? That don't happen here, okay? No. This is the legendary expert who smashes these out, dude. I don't think so.
Lucifer had with the presence, shaped by external forces. What are the external forces? Well, the external forces are the stories and everything else going on in the collective unconscious.
That he
Everybody
created.
Understands that the author told us that this was in reference to the Thousand Cats story, the collective unconscious. All stories combined. Well, who is all story personified? Not just in Marvel and DC or just the orrery of worlds, but everything else around it. That's the cosmic armor Superman. All the way back to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the presence has no clue who the Anti-Monitor is. Holly Black, the writer of the...
Hold up. What the fuck? The presence was not referenced during...
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I have not lost it. I need more power, need more strength. Energy explodes. Spectre screams in pain. Here's a funnel. Conduit, more energy pours into him. More energy funnels through him. He sees worlds that have never existed and have never will. He sees shapes, colors, and patterns and concepts undreamt of even by his master.
Yeah, his master undreamt those concepts. Like, they existed for him to undream. Jesus Christ, the illiteracy.
Hold on. This is the Anti-Monitor, right? I'm misremembering this.
Yeah,
panel.
this is the Anti-Monitor.
His master isn't the presence.
Wait, no, this is the Spectre talking. This is the Spectre.
Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah, because he's getting powered by like the different like people. I forgot, the magicians, right?
So I guess a bunch of magicians at this point in time who barely scaled with the Anti-Monitor, with all amping the Spectre simultaneously.
And the Anti-Monitor was weakened as hell because he had to like go through the source wall, which verbatim stated that like it took a lot of power from him.
This like, scales apparently above a character who can casually wander the overvoid and create entire multiverses simultaneously. Oh, that's kind of weird. And also, it's weird to put Spectre on the same level as the presence. Because, like, even amped by, like, other forces from the collective unconscious, like, all those energies are born of the presence of the source, so he would just have all of them anyway. And on top of that, like, how in the fuck would he know? Like, there's, like, 8,000 things here that don't make sense. But let's go.
The presence has no clue who the Anti-Monitor is. Holly Black, the writer of the Lucifer series from a while back. The presence...
doesn't know who the Anti-Monitor is? Okay, that's not what that scan said. It just simply said he hadn't seen shit out there. But even if I granted that, the presence had already been out there before. Like what? Like it doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
And even in hindsight, like the only reason that would make sense would be because he had never been there. Like the Spectre had never been out in those planes. Yeah, there's like 8 layers of shit that don't make sense there. Okay, let's see.
He's dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
He actually got killed. No ands, ifs, or buts. You can't argue with the author.
Oh, I can't argue with the author? Hold on. Where did it go?
Oh yes, the scans of authors stating that
hold on.
Or that one. Never mind.
No. Where's... oh my god, hold on, I gotta pull it up. Yo, where's the statement of Perpetua saying he's at the far side of the void?
That's the cosmic
and that the
raptor
judges
scan.
Yeah, and the judges still respond to him.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay. That's so funny.
Wait, I have Discord Nitro so I can post a scan. Hold on.
Go ham. That shit's so funny to me.
Oh yeah, it's loading. It's a 25 megabyte, bruh.
Yo, massive.
But I mean, the art is fire, so I won't complain.
Yeah.
Alright, it's there.
Okay. Tell your masters I will escape.
Tell them I will come to the,
end of the void and rip them limb from limb.
If we go to the 2018 run, the next page is the Anti-Monitor stating that, yo, this source wall contains the rest of our multiverse from the overvoid. The page after this.
And
so
keep,
like
and keep in mind,
void and the overvoid
and
are the
keep
same.
in mind that 2021 GL run, as well as everything else in recent times, still confirms Source as top of the verse. Like, even if you want to separate, like the presence as an avatar of the Source in our exclusive multiverse, like, even if you say that, the Source is still top tier. It's still the toppest of the top. The judges of the Source are below the Source. Okay? Like, it is what it is. Like, I can't, like, I don't understand these arguments, dude. Like, if the presence is genuinely dead, then I guess everything in the overvoid and up is just, like, chilling?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, why would the Great Darkness have any problems not just nuking the verse? Especially if you use the writer statements that the presence, the Source, and the overvoid are all one and the same. Or the overvoid and the presence are aspects of the Source.
Yeah.
Like,
and Comic Curator, if you're watching this, because I told you to go watch this because your fan base was wiling, yo, we don't hate you in any way. You're someone we don't know, and we just disagree with your we don't actively hate. Like, Lumos advertises our Discord server. Like, we will add you, and like we'll talk to you in like in a nice manner and like explain why you're wrong if this like video doesn't like appease you. But like we'll talk to you in like a polite fashion and like show you all the things that like we've collected from the source material itself. And like, yeah, just like people who disagree with you don't inherently hate you.
Yeah, for example, you have to hate people you
like,
don't
God forbid,
agree with.
There's so many homies on Discord I disagree with. That doesn't mean I have like an innate hate boner for them. Okay.
I mean, fuck, you and me
like,
argue all damn time as to what we believe.
God, bro, dude. Could you imagine if like I hated you for like disagreeing? I would not be on this stream. Like,
Facts.
Jesus Christ.
But like, I don't know.
Wow, that would be terrible.
It's just a real weird extrapolation to try and like just say the presence doesn't scale to any of this. Even though we have people like directly having reference to that, the source is still around. So even if you think the presence is dead, okay, like cool, the source still exists. We just saw him in the Green Lantern 2021 run, and that was an avatar of the source itself.
And like, yo, the same like presence, quote unquote, that dies is the same one that we see in the War in Heaven a while back, where it shows like a yellow being and he states, yo, this is an avatar of mine. The same one that like Gabriel kills and it becomes the dark presence is the same avatar of the presence that like he references there. Like, hold on, let me grab these real quick so that like you guys can see what I mean. But like, dude.
Oh man.
It's just super like weird. Like, I don't know why people like act so weird as hell about this.
It doesn't make any sense to me, man. I'm sitting over here like, if like the source isn't dead, the presence is the source, born of the presence of the source, like those are one and the same, like based on that statement. I don't get how you say that. I don't get. I'm trying to rationalize it so hard. Like, this guy's handing out energies that literally can create and destroy multiverses at a whim to like hands. And we think that
Lumos,
characters who could at best absorb stories in a verse, like, what is happening?
I posted the scans. Like, yeah, he verbatim states this is like an avatar, right? This like yellow figure of himself. And then go to the next scan. Like, that's literally the same. This is the creature that becomes the dark presence. So like an avatar of the presence being capable of being murdered by Lucifer, like, that makes sense to me. I mean, given all the scaling for Lucifer.
Like, I don't think this is crazy or anything along those lines. Like that, it wouldn't blow my mind that like avatars of the presence could be defeated or fucked with or anything along those lines.
Like the dog, for
source,
example,
you know?
the dog form of the presence was stated as like an avatar, of, like the actual one.
Oh, the one that
So,
Trigon
like-
one shot. Yeah.
Yeah, facts, facts,
Fucking
all fact, nothing
Fake
but
news,
facts.
Holy shit. Goddamn shit.
Nah, you're
But
mad.
like,
you're
okay,
mad.
hold on. Let's continue. We're farming
Yeah,
this for
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
1,200 years over here.
A
Okay.
long time ago, in the late 90s.
A long time ago.
The Word is talking to the Phantom Stranger, explaining how the parliaments and other abstracts rebelled against the Presence and almost killed him. The Presence almost lost a war and a...
Why did they do it? Why try create a
Hold
new
on.
god when they could serve the voice for eternity? On a bended knee, they tried to replace him with a new king. It nearly worked. Holland almost succeeded.
That's not killing the presence. Like that's just getting another being to like to that level of power of like being God of like for example, there's so many levels of like God of our multiverse. There's
And-
the source / the presence. There's Perpetua. There's
And plus, like, there's no reason that these dudes would even fucking know how powerful like the presence is. Like, I don't
And
get
even if-
that.
even if they did know, like we saw like Eclipso try to replace the presence in that 2006 run, that Justice League 2006 run,
Yeah.
by like destroying Earth. Like he tried to do the same thing, and like according to his own headcanon, he almost did it. But like we know how far removed that was from actual reality.
From truth, yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, like okay, bro.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, imagine trying to use somebody's like own power against them better than they can,
Yeah.
while they wield like 17 other powers that are equivocal in nature.
Yeah,
like,
like-
I don't fucking
Yeah.
get it, dude.
fight, a direct fight with these other abstracts. So the Presence is
What
not
fight?
really on the totem that you believe.
He's saying it happened. He's saying this
Oh,
guy
yeah,
said it
yeah.
happened, so it has to have happened. Like,
He's saying like a
Again,
fight
here,
broke out
in
and like
the,
yeah,
The
okay.
Highfather story. Highfather's entire aim in life is to figure out the source. Where is the source? How can he talk to the source? What is the source up to? What can the source
True.
do for him? He
Okay,
looks
yeah,
into
this
the
was Day of
Silver
Judgment,
City,
where he's
looks
literally
into the
just
Premium
looking
Mobile
into
Tower,
heaven.
The voice of the Presence himself, and says, "Nope, that's not the source. It has nothing to do with it. My journey continues looking for the source."
Hold on, wait, pause.
yeah, hold up. I want to
This
listen
is-
to this again. Real
Yeah.
quick.
Alright.
To figure out the source. Where is the source? How can he talk to the source? What is the source up to? What can the source do for him? He looks into the Silver City, looks into the Premium Mobile Tower, the voice of the Presence himself, and says, "Nope, that's not the source. It has nothing to do with it. My journey continues looking for the source."
No, he
Hold
didn't
on.
look into Prima Mobile.
Let's read this, okay?
Okay,
What
no.
of Asmodel, stranger? Where does his fate bring him? Back home, heaven. New structure, shining city, the first in countless millennia. This is a sign for the worst. What will be the consequence of this action? What does it mean when heaven can't trust hell to hold its prisoner, stranger? What does this have to do with him, like,
No, so
acknowledging the
I'll-
presence here? Am I crazy?
Yeah, no. So what he's saying, right, is that, like numerous times, like for example, characters will look into heaven and they'll feel like, oh shit, this is the source, and because like they feel very similar, more implication that the source and the presence are the same, but like they're slightly different. And he's saying that like Highfather looked into like the presence's the presence's like throne, which is called Prima Mobile, and was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, this isn't the source. Whereas one, he only saw the city and didn't see Prima Mobile. We have no evidence that he did, and he's just saying like, oh yeah, nah, like he saw like everything in heaven and deemed like, yeah, this isn't the presence. Like, no, that's dishonest as hell. Every single like reference to the source in the story states that like the source is very similar to like heaven. Like when all the heroes pull up to hell, I think there was a like, I think Light Ray pulled up to heaven and was like, oh shit, this really feels like the source.
Yeah,
And like dude,
I don't know.
like-
I don't know about that one, Chief. I think we're reaching on this scan really fucking
Yeah.
hard.
the amount of like this because I read this story like
It's
like
copium.
Lumos. I told you this like literally 3 days ago. I read this story, and like it is not that.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, let's continue.
I don't know on this one, Chief. This is some suspect.
Yeah.
Back in the Lucifer series, the presence holds up the orb of creation, which was just really a metaphor for Elaine to understand the concept of how, you know, the ongoings of creation works.
No, it was literally
By
creation.
Rox Ogama
I mean,
in
it
Final
was-
Crisis, Superman Beyond.
Yeah.
He took his orb. That's the exact same orb. It's
That's
literally
not the
exact
same orb,
thing.
but okay.
He took it as a trophy after he killed the presence.
What?
So
He
then
didn't.
I had to
Okay, I see where he's getting. So you know in Final Crisis when all the heroes pulled up on Rox Ogama when he became what you call Mandrake states like yo
Nobody
like,
could stop me.
Doc-
I even wiped out a bunch of people, and
No.
then we see like an angel on the ground, right?
Yeah, he like says yo I killed all like the aspects of like your god and like blah blah. Before this he said yeah a god has died. And he's essentially like saying that like oh yeah this orb refers to like creation, and like he killed the presence basically. This is where the presence was killed by like Mandrake. Like this is where that
I wish
meta
we
comes
could have
from.
seen something.
Yeah.
Demonstrating
what's
him
funny?
doing that.
You
That'd
know
have been
what's
dope.
funny? You know what's funny, right? The difference is that this scan happens on Earth this happens in an alternate universe in like the Orrery of Worlds
Yeah, it's an Ultraman
versus Lucifer and the presences. When the presence did it with
Outside
Elaine, they
of
were
creation.
outside of creation.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, how are these two things comparable?
Jesus Christ. Like,
Like-
remember, comic curator, no hate, but like, come on, bro. Like,
I don't understand how you could say that he killed the presence and took his sphere, which is a literal manifestation of creation, because whenever he hands that to Elaine, he's like literally handing her control of the multiverse, right?
yeah.
Like, I don't get it. There's no evidence. Like, there's literally zero evidence that this orb is the same orb from that. And if we really want to play semantic games, that one was white, this one's yellow. Like, lol. If we really want to go fucking hard, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it.
conversation with Dematius on Twitter, talking about the differences between Voids and Prelea and all those other characters. And, you know, he said you're going very deep. He's a guy who usually doesn't like to talk about the cosmic hierarchy too much in detail, but it was very clear based on this entire string, if you go back and read everything else, that I had explained that there's a void in context outside of fiction, and there's a void in context inside of fiction.
Well, that's funny because the DC map does not demonstrate that, which came after everything to do with people. I can't even say that after everything. Even during Multiversity, and like we still had people referencing the void.
Yeah, like this
Like-
happens like
And it's
after
not on the
the whole
map.
Prelaya shit.
Where is
And
it
look-
on the map?
Look at this. And look at this, bro. Like J.M. Dematis doesn't even agree with you. He just says you're going very deep into detail.
If somebody gives me like a 17 like page essay in a Twitter section, and I say, "Oh yeah, dude, you're going real hard," that doesn't mean I'm confirming anything you're saying.
Yeah.
It means I'm not paying attention to it, or maybe that's a more negative interpretation. That just basically means, oh, you're doing a lot of work. That doesn't mean your work is accurate. That doesn't mean he agrees with anything. It just means you said a bunch of stuff and he says, wow, you're working. Like, I don't think that...
Yeah.
This is why it's so much more significant not to use Twitter and, like, DMs with people as a justification unless they directly 100% say, this is the case. And you know what? It's funny that you use these kind of statements because I have other statements with other people verbatim 100% saying the overvoid is an aspect is contained by the presence or the source. So
yeah,
like
in the comic itself.
Yeah, not just in the
Like-
comic, but I also have writer statements just blatantly saying that. So if this guy doesn't confirm what you're saying and he just says, "Wow, like you're going very deep," that's
But then the same
more of
guy
a W for me than it
confirms
is
what
you.
And then the same guy confirms what we're saying. Like, okay, like verbatim. Like, okay, bro. Like
I don't get it. Like I really don't know how to like work with that.
Yeah.
Like every one of your points are like extrapolations on top of extrapolations of assumptions on top of assumptions to Twitter statements or in-person DMs where they just acknowledge you're in a conversation with them. And you take that as them confirming what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Like biased interpretations of like the material that you're posting, or just like you're posting material that benefits what we're saying. Yeah. And it's like, dude, like, bro, like how do you deal with someone who's like agreeing with your point, but at the same time using your evidence as like their evidence to like disagree with you? Like, you see how that doesn't make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can. It's like I'll sit here and, you know, I'll go through it all. I mean, we're probably like what, an hour in on this fucking 25-minute video. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're 2 hours into this video. Holy cow! I didn't even realize. We're 2 hours into this video of just like generally like lightly talking about all this stuff. This is like absolutely absurd, man. I can't believe. Yo, I can't believe this is real life of like out of context Twitter statements and stuff that don't even justify your opinion. Like this is genuinely crazy. Let's continue, though. Let's see what happens.
They're called the Overvoid. The one in Final Crisis, Superman Beyond, is the one exterior, whereas the one in the Scott Snyder series and everything else after that was referenced inside of the fictive membrane.
That's not true. That's the source wall. What the fuck?
Bruh.
They even say the greater omniverse sits beyond this.
I can't, bro.
Oh, he's so wrong. Yo, literally, the monitor here looks out into the greater omniverse. It even says those specific words, into the greater omniverse, to see other multiverses.
Yo, remember when he like hit up that in DMs that guy, Thor something, and he verbatim said like, yo, so like the Overvoid and the greater omniverse are the same thing, right? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, bad. Bro,
his own video is contradicting itself like 10 times over. What is happening right now?
Hold on. So the Overvoid in one comic isn't the same as the Overvoid in another comic?
Like, I don't understand. So, like, how do I argue with these points? They're so silly. Hold up. I literally gotta look this up. I gotta find this scan of him looking. Where's the Brothers 3 at? Where's my section on them?
Oh, wait. Just like Justice League 2018,
I don't remember
issue 22.
I was about to say, I don't remember the exact page it's on, but this will work.
Yeah, issue 22. Like, I've had to memorize like the 2018 run because of this. Like, I swear to God.
Okay, here it is. Boom. Let's go. Okay. So if you think I'm full of shit, then explain this one, okay? This is necessary. Yes, we must tune to the frequency of all the worlds within our multiverse. We must broadcast a signal out and inform the judges of the source in the greater omniverse, which you've already admitted is indeed the Overvoid, of her actions. So you're just blatantly wrong here. And the exact same comic you pulled that scan from has the answer. Why didn't you come to this conclusion? You should be coming to this conclusion.
Yo, I'm just saying, with that in mind and what he's saying, yo, the idea that, like, yo, there's an Overvoid in fiction and there's an Overvoid out of fiction, and the one that's out of fiction is in a comic book for Superman, versus the one that's in fiction, which is in a comic book that also has Superman, is crazy to me.
This is
like,
so
the amount of copium is wild.
And on top of that, with the new shit in Infinite Frontier, that was way before the monitors showed up. Ever. Yeah. The monitors were the ones who wrapped source walls in between each individual world, like in the 2000s. This is at the beginning of creation. There's none of that. There's one source wall. That's it. So major L. This is like the easiest major L I've seen in the video. Holy cow.
Lumos. You know how like we see Dr. Manhattan, right, in Doomsday Clock? And I say, yeah, that's like the Dr. Manhattan like in fiction. And then, like, when I check the Wally West scan where he references that the Dr. Manhattan's like a being of pure connective energy, that's the Dr. Manhattan out of like fiction, right? That's like the beyond IRL character.
Yeah, didn't you know that's a true form, the true non-fictive version.
This is how I know Lumos hasn't read Suggs verse, bro. I'm sick.
Yeah, facts. But like that, I just don't get it, bro. I'm like literally getting cancer trying to decipher this because like the very comic that he read debunks itself on ironic, like his statements. It 2 pages before. It was 2 pages before. Like what is even happening?
W's. So many W's in chat.
What the fuck, dude? Okay, let's continue.
And that's how that works. So again,
oh, and that's how that works.
Again, it's not a new thing. We learned about that in Milk Wars. That's exactly what the author avatar tells us here. It's a void inside of a void, inside of a creation, inside of a void, inside of another void, and it's all stuff.
Wait, what?
What the fuck? A timeless trapped in an endless void of paper and ink. Okay, the endless void reference here, and like the paper, yeah, I can grant that as the overvoid. But and ink? Like, those would just be alternative realities inside our world, because all comic books are just other worlds in the Ori, unless you forgot about that.
Dude, in Multiversity, you had comic books.
Here, yeah.
Like, in Multiversity, you had comic books containing the characters that were reading those comic books. Like, there's a bunch of metafiction shit within, like,
the Ori
DC, like, the Ori. Like, that's not impressive. Like, I don't know why he's, like, trying to hype that up to be, like, all that.
Yeah, this is just other worlds. Yeah, and you could be trapped in story, like we said earlier. Back to reference everything together. All of these stories just take place limbo and below. So like,
yeah, literally,
that would be even more evidence that any stories you're referencing just take place there.
Oh, but like Mandrak was like, Cass was like trapped in like the hyper story in the monitor world, and like that's a story, dude, bruh, like. That's literally Mandrak he's referring to as the reassembling hyper story.
But,
like,
you know, I mean,
traditional stories end at limbo.
Yeah, that's why his story was so special, is because it pushed past everything, all stories even imaginable to get to where he was. That's why it's such good scaling, like inside the multiverse.
Higher dimensional and more fundamental stories like Superman or Mandrak aren't traditional stories that people reference as like, oh yeah, I contain all stories, so that includes Mandrak and Cass's. No, those are exempt ones that you'd need to specify.
Yeah, the stronger stories. Arguably the strongest individual, like, story-based figures in verse. But just because you're a story-based figure doesn't make you immune to other characters, like, around that level, either.
Literally.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
These are all things that pretty much every single author and writer and editor at DC Comics understands.
Not true at all. Not true at all. What the fuck?
This is like the biggest, like, yo, he says a wild claim, you ask him to prove it, and then he just says, oh my god, like, bro. Like, dude speaking for all of DC Comics.
Yeah, dude, but everybody knows it.
Bro, Lumos, this is some common basis shit from Mystery Evaluator, bro. It's coming back.
Yo, clearly not every single person at DC acknowledges this, because we have a variety of different statements just between you and me, and of like different authors having different positions on all sorts of shit whenever it comes to like Twitter and like DMs and stuff. So like,
but Lumos, it's the common basis.
You can't say everybody's on the same page with this shit when nobody's on the same page with a lot of what they say about DC. Okay, so
like, bro, it's
I don't know,
common
man.
Basis.
To this day, not one other author has gone into the beyond category where Grant Morrison has gone. That's the problem.
Wrong.
That I think a lot of debaters don't understand.
Well, hold up. If that's true, then why during the Unexpecteds did those characters exclusively go 2-0 and beat up Mandrak?
Yeah.
You're wrong. They have.
Yo, none of them referred to like the Beyond. Crazy how like Joshua Williamson.
Well, that's funny.
Had
no, that's
whole,
funny.
Like...
No, the monitor literally references Beyond in the scan I showed earlier.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not even true.
And then hold on. And then like the monitor when he looked out. When the monitor looked out into the greater Omniverse, which we know is the Overvoid. Yeah. The World Forger looks at the monitor when in nil and stated, yo, you looked beyond the void. And the term beyond was boldened and capitalized. So like, The cap and copium is crazy
Dude,
right now.
I don't know what's happening right now. Like, I swear, this guy is so well read and he has so much information, but he's only looking through it with like a pair of sunglasses on that only allows him to have cast vision, right? Only allows him to have the, like cast vision to only grab things that work for that perspective.
Like he's grabbing scans from the 2018 run, which for like power scaling, which I traditionally don't see people do. So like, I know he has access.
He's like, seen it for sure. Like there's no excuse for him not to have seen this stuff. Yeah, he's referencing
you know,
it.
Like Lumos, you know, like educated midget.
Yeah.
It's literally just educated midget syndrome, where like they have such vast amount of like scans and shit. They have like so much content at their disposal. But like, as you said, they just have like the cosmic armor Superman sunglasses on, and it's like,
and they can't see.
Why?
Like, well, I get it. Like,
it's like,
I mean, everyone's got their favorite character and stuff. Like, I love me some Hal Jordan, right? I'll go fucking ham on some Hal Jordan. I will talk Hal Jordan. I will hype up Hal Jordan till the end of time. But I'm not gonna just like, no matter what, try and only find things that benefit Hal Jordan in terms of scaling, like ever. Like that would not make me credible. Like that doesn't like, make sense to me. Like I don't understand how you could do that.
Yeah, it's like I fuck with Wally West, bro. Like I'll argue about Wally West the whole time. That doesn't mean like I'm gonna say, yo, when Wally West was purging dark matter from worlds and like he was leaving a light in his wake, the light is also known as the presence. So like he scales above the present. Like I'm not gonna be doing that some dumb shit like that. Like just know when to stop with your favorite character. And like just face the facts that like they can be beaten by other characters unless your favorite character is the strongest person in verse, which is like kind of cringe, but like,
which I mean, it's possible. It's possible for sure, but that's not the case here. Is what I'm saying. I don't hate Cosmic Armor Superman. I just don't think he's as strong as like the biggest of the big fanboys, like this guy claims they are. And like, that's like it's okay. Like you can believe a character is more powerful than he is, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna like just go along with it, right? Like, because I'm gonna give you the most honest answer I possibly can. And if more information pops up that does change my mind, I'll let you know. My opinions on stuff dramatically change over time as more information comes in. Because if you're changing your information as new information comes in, you're always the most up-to-date person. But if you cease to do that, then you cease to be that up-to-date person in general. But yeah, let's continue.
They consider anything overvoid as beyond the fictive membrane, and that's not how it works. Almost all of those references from the Perpetuo story are from within the boundary of DC Comics and do not have a context of being outside of it.
He's so wrong, it hurts, dude. Holy shit, he's saying everything with Perpetua took place inside the bleed.
Yeah, facts. Nothing but facts. All facts.
Even
Lumos is so mad right
even
now.
though she wandered the overvoid from the far side of the void to get here, created the multiverse.
Yeah.
And like he thinks that's a universe? It's all fictive? It's all inside one world? Based on nothing other than his opinion. That's so whack. That's so whack. Like, I know of the fictive membrane on World 33, but characters can get there. They lose their powers and shit when they get there.
Yeah.
But, like, guess what? Earth 33 was one of the many worlds that were eradicated by Perpetua and the Bat Who Laughs.
Yeah, literally. Lol.
We were the last world remaining. Its fictive membrane didn't work that fucking well. So, like, damn.
Yeah. Yo, and plus Darks.
Plus
Barry Allen. Plus Barry Allen and Wallace West were able to go there. And like, do you think Wallace West and like Barry Allen like scale above Perpetua? Like what? Like they were able to traverse there and go beyond it. Like, dude.
I don't understand. We've already debunked the fact with like Perpetua and all them because the monitor literally says the greater Omniverse, which is a direct reference to the Overvoid, even in his opinion. So like this is all kind of like really silly. We're just rehashing.
Yeah, nah, but that's like the stuff out of fiction, bro. Come on now.
The guidebook author author Landry Walker a whole bunch of questions about monitors, and he pretty much agreed with me on all of it. There's 2 separate groups potentially, and that's how it seems to be written.
Wait, where's the agree?
Where's the response?
The Marnovu splits have nothing to do with the nil monitors of Final Crisis. Clearly, they're completely different groups of characters that are written completely differently.
Hold up. Where's the scan? Give me the scan of the monitors literally just saying.
They're descendants of like the actual monitor.
Hit me with it. Where's that shit at? I know we got it around here somewhere.
Let me grab it real quick. Hold on. Wait, what scan? Like the one that
the one where they just say we're fucking descendants of the OG monitor. Let me find it. I might have it somewhere.
There's the one in the Superman Beyond story. You okay with that?
Post it if you want. I don't think that's the one I'm referencing though. Let me find my monitors section. Here. I'll roll up so everyone else can see kind of
Hold on, yeah.
Here we go.
If you post that one, you can also see this one, which says the exact same thing.
Okay.
Oh, or that one, yeah. There's also this. This is like the one verbatim from Superman Beyond. Like, first panel.
So, like, this is pretty straightforward stuff. Like... like, I don't know, man!
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of how it goes, you know? We witnessed the end of the multiverse through common eyes when we were a singular entity, one monitor, born from many.
Or like, yo, check the scan that I posted, like, verbatim. It states that, like, they're descendants from, like, the first monitor.
So, I don't know, man. It's looking kind of weird in that department. Not gonna sugarcoat it. Okay. Let's see here.
Again, that's a guidebook writer completely agreeing with me on this concept. And
okay, what the fuck? The real answer on this is never satisfying because there is no real overarching continuity within comics. It's almost always reflective and retroactive. As in, hey, that part of the thing is cool and would make the story cooler, but only if X equals Y instead of X. Not to be dismissive, mind you, but it's an interesting question, but I tend not to weigh in. They are not fucking agreeing with you. They are literally not agreeing with you at all.
Yeah.
They're saying, I don't want to answer. There is no satisfying answer, and there's no overarching continuity in comics. None of these reinforce your point, anything you said above. And they even say, I tend not to weigh in on these things.
Bro. Dubs.
And it says at the bottom, or when it does contradict, working that into the lore is a constant state of flux in the comic book universe. Comic universe's existent in universe.
Yo, Lumos, how many subs have you lost for all the fake news you've been spreading? While comic curators posting the real stuff.
At the bottom, it even says, that said, if I were to weigh in, not as a representative of DC or an interpreter of the comics. I'm willing to bet that's what that says there. This person did not agree with you at all, who wrote that book. You're just wrong.
Yeah, the lying is crazy.
Unless there's more. We might see more.
About a dozen different author interviews where all of them tell you the overvoid is the alpha.
Okay, hold up. We got the rest? Not as a representative of DC or an interpreter of what other authors wrote, I would state that yes, they are different beings. So they said in their own opinion it is, but they wield no fucking credibility whenever it comes to do so. Only the author of the series can answer those things. Now, that being said, if we scroll back just a little bit where she said correctifying and rectifying those things is basically something that's a big thing in comics, that's my argument because I'm going with the people who did rectify it and have explained it in greater depth.
So many W's in chat.
The overvoid is the alpha. Even inside of the fictive membrane, the overvoid is the alpha. I asked George Thorne about the great darkness versus the source and the overvoid. And I was told that in his cosmology, the great darkness was something that came about through the source. So the hierarchy there was the overvoid, the source.
How does he get that?
Not the other way around.
Hold on, he did not. You didn't give the scan for it. But on top of that, that's not what he said, even in your words,
bro.
A lot of other people got that wrong.
So many W's in chat. Lumos is malding so hard.
Not a lot of people understand that these even exist.
Oh,
You'll never find them on Twitter or anything like that.
Which is all you use.
Censored by very hostile comic book debaters who really hate me for uncovering all of this information. So again, the guidebook that
I wish you uncovered something good.
Really tells us.
If only you showed us what you uncovered.
Requires sustenance on the power of story belief. Now, if the presence requires story to power himself, what was the cosmic armor again? It was the personification of all story, not just in DC, not just in Marvel, not just in Archie, not just in Dragon Ball Z, not just in Harry Potter, in every single thing, story itself.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
story
no,
is limbo tier.
And no, even if he was stated, even if he was, like, yeah, even if like story was limbo tier, no, with no like. This scan is so dishonest because he's not showing what happened before that. The monitor mind, or like if you want to believe that's the overvoid, which it's not, it's literally just the monitor, the brother. Yeah, the brother of the anti-monitor. He states, yo, we entered the multiverse and we found something that we'd never found before, and that was story. And this monitor had never encountered story before, and never understood what story was because he was beyond it. So he said, with no precedent or concept of story, like the probe that was sent into the multiverse split in two, and one half of it became Cass. Like, Cass is not the embodiment of all story, especially in all of fiction, bro.
Even if he became that as time went on, I would be willing to grant that. But it's only within the confines of our home multiverse. In the greater omniverse, there's an infinite amount of other stories that exist out there, which clearly shows a limit to the knowledge of the monitor mind.
Yeah, right? But he's saying because Archie, Marvel, and all of those exist within the orrery, that Cass contains and is the concept of all of those stories too. Essentially,
no. I'm saying even if I grant that, right? Let's just grant the highest interpretation for that. The whole reason, the significance of Cass transcending and shit like that, he went to limbo. They figured out their shit in limbo, and eventually were sent to a transceiver on a higher dimension, right? Which put him up to nil. He's still not even to the overvoid.
Yeah, lol. And then when Mandrack fell into the overvoid and the monitor mind both forgot of his existence, and it was completely erased.
Either the monitor mind is wrong because it doesn't know of, or it's stupid because it doesn't remember other verses in the overvoid, or the monitor mind is limited to only understanding us as a concept.
And we know that's wrong because the monitor literally went to the greater omniverse and checked out other multiverses.
Looked other ones. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'll admit, you could look at that as a slight retcon for the monitor and the monitor mind stuff. I could perceive that potentially as such. Maybe having been reborn, his mind just didn't comprehend those things in the appropriate manner or something. I'd be willing to I mean,
no, you can't even say that because he is a piece of the overvoid, and if he's back in the overvoid, it's his own turf. He'd be able to understand shit just fine, if not better, because he's unrestricted by cosmology. So you can't even say that.
Well, if you went back to the overvoid and you had a limited knowledge of what you remembered after dying, and you reappear, everything's a white void around you, and then the only thing you see that's unique or special in this white void is creation. Creation is story, right?
Wait, but the Monitor later on in the 2018 run and Dark Knight's Metal
True, after being
literally
brought back up
stated
to
that
pace.
he remembered everything.
Okay, after being brought back up to pace and having a form, yes. But the Monitor mind up there was just kind of like a collective consciousness of infinite knowledge, right? Beyond our comprehension that was out there.
I mean, I guess you could interpret it as like when he was as the Monitor mind, he was just completely blanked of like.
I'm trying
all
to think of a way, much like the writer from the last DM that he had. It's sometimes rectifying history. You're gonna have to do things, or rectifying lore. You're gonna have to do things to kind of switch things up to make them make sense. That's the only way I can rectify that to make any sense in that situation.
I guess that makes like a sort of like amount of sense, but even then, like that's like a massive like assumption and guesstimation. Like you'd have to think like.
I mean, we're here trying to rationalize kind of where he's coming from. Like, I don't know what you want from me, okay?
You have to go through, like, so many holes and, like, assumptions of stuff that, like, one, isn't shown on page, and two, like, isn't mentioned anywhere, and you have no evidence of. Like, you have to literally make, like, a headcanon that, like, you could make the most sense out of.
Which, like, I would even be okay with that, but like the problem is whenever he does that, he then provides evidence that doesn't even say that, so it's so much harder for me to believe it because it's just like you're just coming up with stuff to like justify
oh my
your
god.
point. But yeah, let's continue. Let's finish this up.
Was the context. The context of all of your references from the Perpetua arc are below the fictive membrane.
Okay, hold on. Oh, let's scroll back to where it's not as zoomed in.
I can't.
Context of all of your references from the Perpetua arc.
Okay, given that the DCU has a timeline, the idea started as a consideration of what might exist beyond the timeline, on the time plane, or even a mysterious time cube. The theory allowed every comic story you've ever been part of to be part of a larger scale mega continuity, which also includes other comic book universes as well as the real world we live in. Yeah, this is the multiverse. Well, welcome to the Orrery of Worlds. You're explaining the Orrery of Worlds. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So many W's.
Yeah, I don't
so many W's. So many W's.
Membrane. The ones that have their own bubble inside of the Orrery of Worlds.
Yeah, the worlds. And there's an infinite amount of them.
Not much more to say
outside of our localized 52.
Over and over and over.
I really think you
I'm not
have.
trying to start drama or anything like that. Like I said, I really like.
Okay, Orion and the New Gods found dead in a dumpster by Metropolis. Manhunter, just a place to prove point, in a place beyond comprehension of ordinary mortals, far outside the boundaries of the multiverse. The great monitors of existence ignore a blatant sabotage of reality. In a realm outside reality, the monitors study the orrery, a structure containing all of existence. We know that the monitors and this exact thing are in Nil, right?
Yeah.
Nil is a part of the greater multiverse. Multiverse here is literally just the confines of the orrery of worlds. So technically, the Speed Force, the Bleed, the God Sphere, Limbo, and this would all be reflective of that. So I don't understand. I can't rectify Perpetua's entire story with this guy. He just says it all happens inside fiction, inside verse, when that's not the case. Like, what? They go to Nil. Like, they go there. The monitor was there, and he's crying because all his children died.
Yeah. And then Scott Snyder, in an interview, verbatim states, this is the same Nil.
Yeah.
As in Final Crisis.
And even the... I almost said the Expendables. What the fuck were those losers' names? The Unexpected. They show up to Nil, and they see the tombstone. One. They see the tombstone.
Yeah. Like, they see the tombstone.
That's directly in the comic.
Yeah, and if that doesn't change your mind... all of Nil was fucking destroyed. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's fucking wasted.
Because it was the same. It was the same one that Mandraak and like Cass fucked up. Like, dude,
like your stuff. I think you're an awesome YouTuber. It's just you are a little bit askew on the Superman Beyond topics. And again, it's not your fault. You've never seen this stuff. You've never seen the interviews that I've pulled. You probably never read the other guidebooks that have already.
I haven't. You're right.
This stuff again.
Yeah.
Existence itself.
I'm just a stupid idiot who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That's what the other guidebook said. That's what the older guidebook said from a few years ago. This was the Justice League guidebook from some years ago. The newer guidebooks have disregarded this and completely rewrote everything. And again, I showed you
If that was the case, they didn't completely rewrite everything. Everything still fits in place. You're just picking and choosing how to keep Cass alive as the most relevant figure ever. I'll negotiate with you. If Cass down the way manages to show backup and we get more scaling for him beyond what's there, I'll grant that. If like Cass shows backup and suddenly he is the personification of every single story in the entire Overvoid in the greater Omniverse, I'll be like, damn, Cass got the upgrade, you know? We didn't have that established before.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like that's crazy. But guess what? We don't have that.
Yeah.
I'm not out of date on anything. I'm using everything in the current day stuff. The second you reference something in the current day, I picked the exact comic it was in, gave you 2 pages before it, and debunked your entire claim. Because you're picking and choosing things to make you sound better than you actually
You know what I
are,
find insane? You know what I find insane? Being like a castard and not using the easiest like wank shit of all time. So like literally like first 2 pages of Superman Beyond, the monitor states, yo, we're the monitors of Nil, masters of the Overvoid.
Yeah, just say that.
And then you have like Cass, who like scales above all the monitors. And then you have Mandrak. Like, why don't you use that? Like, one, it's like in the actual like it like actually helps your point. 2, like it's easier shit to like wank. And 3, like, dude, that's better evidence for your shit, because like the stuff you've posted either helps us or doesn't say what you like think it does.
Most of it just agreed with
like,
us, especially if you like started considering like the nuances and stuff. And I'll admit, like, the guy did get me on like the Grant Morrison not having written that shit. Like, I'll take the L on that for sure, because I'll always take a loss if I'm wrong on something. But I look at every other argument you're saying. You posted a bunch of Twitter threads and DMs of stuff where they don't even agree with you.
Yeah.
And unironically, they actually kind of support my perspective in a lot of them. I'm not going to say every single one of them, but in a lot of them. Like, I'd say 80% or so that you demonstrated in the video.
It's just disappointing how, like, we've, like, our description and explanation of the DC cosmology fits in and we can make sense of that, whereas yours forces the narrative that, like, no, it can't make sense, none of it works, and, like, it's all just broken and, like, it's all been just, like, changed. Whereas, like, we're explaining how like that's not the case, but like you're choosing not to because you need like Cass to be the strongest character
it's
ever.
Like there's all these like steps on the ground, right, that are like stepping stones for you to go to where you need to go, and then it wraps in this big old shape and it curves around, and you think, well, yeah, but I'm just gonna keep going straight through rather than like actually following the story where it goes, even though you're taking scans from those things that are only downplay, like out of context singular scans.
Yeah.
It's like you could make sense of all those things. You're a wildly intelligent person. You've very clearly dedicated yourself to DC cosmology and Cosmic Armor Superman and stuff. Like that's awesome. Like more power to you. I do similar things whenever it comes to like lanterns and cosmology in general, but there's too much for you to say is just completely rewritten and to pick and choose from that only justifies your point. If you're going to make a stand for truth. And truth in this situation, you cannot deny the Perpetua stuff. You can't just say, oh, it happened in a fictive membrane, when there's no evidence that happened in any shape, way, or form. And they reference the Overvoid, characters on the far side of the Overvoid. They reference the source wall, having moved past the source wall, being stuck in the source wall. And within this context, it was before any source wall was in between any individual worlds. The map itself literally demonstrates the source wall on the furthest edges. Like, and that's the one that falls, and that's why the Overvoid breaks through. If that fictive membrane was there, why aren't we hearing or seeing anything to do with that at that time frame? Like, the entire 2018 run shatters your entire perspective of how wank, like, only Cosmic Armor Superman is, and that story is with Mandraak in comparison to everyone else. Like I don't know what else to say. Well,
and it's terrible because like sun-dipped Superman scales above that same Mandraak.
No, just base base
Kaz.
Superman went to a plane beyond nil, the 6th dimension.
Yeah.
Like his story is unironically that strong.
Yeah.
Mr. Mixie been amping him for all of since post-crisis bare minimum to be able to survive that event. But you know what? That's base Superman now. Like I don't know what to say. Cass is dope. Does he have more hacks? Yeah, but like, guess what? The power creep moved on, and it's time to move on too.
Scott Snyder live on video telling you that he rewrote this on purpose. They are not the same cosmology. And I'm gonna end this.
He said that he rewrote stuff, not exclusively cosmology, having to do everything with Cosmic Armor Superman, especially since it's still referenced.
Yeah, and he verbatim states, even excluding the inverse references of it, that he explicitly kept that, and it's the same stuff.
Yeah. You know what? Link me that interview. I'll watch the whole thing. I'll make another video on that interview just for you, if you really think that interview is that credible. And we'll see how it goes. Because if you're right, and he says, yeah, I just rewrote all of cosmology. I mean, damn, that's pretty fucking crazy. But I feel like we just clipped 3 seconds of him saying we had to rewrite some stuff. And you're saying that was exclusively cosmology. So, I don't know, Chief. Well, link me that shit and we'll discuss it.
With the best line ever from Grant Morrison's interview from a long time ago. Read this. Grant Morrison here tells us all that he doesn't want to be responsible for any future changes to anything. His cosmology is his cosmology. Let him keep his own. That's
okay. Let's see. More than anything else, it's Final Crisis of the Monitors. We'll see in number 7 that brings the story from Crisis on Infinite Earths to a logical conclusion. It's also the final crisis of the Fourth World. How the challenges, possibilities, and the rules of emerging the Fifth World developed, something that will change, be acknowledged by other DC creators in years to come. Will either be acknowledged or overlooked by other DC creators to come.
No, he's stating that like he refuses to take responsibility for any of that, any of the like crises that may like arise like long after he's gone. Like it's the like bottom part where like the image starts.
I know. I'm just trying to. He's saying that how the challenges, possibilities of the emerging Fifth World are developed is something that will either be acknowledged or overlooked by other DC creators years to come. So he's acknowledging that they're going to have a handle on this from now on. Okay, in the first part. Okay, Final Crisis Superman Beyond number 2. It's also final in the sense that it's all about endings and apocalypses. It shows that the DCU is degrading, drained of all meaning, drained of all stories and characters, reduced to nothing but darkness, a mute Superman, and a greedy vampire god. We even break down the conventional storytelling modes at the end until there's nothing familiar left in an effort to convey what the end of a universe might feel like. Universe here clearly is in reference to multiverse. I suppose there could be conceivably more crises. DC is a never-ending story after all, but as far as I know, there are none scheduled in the near future. Otherwise, I refuse to take responsibility for any that may arise long after I'm gone.
He's talking about the like different crises, like bro.
He's just saying, I'm not because the story's called Final Crisis. If there's more crises after this, I'm not responsible for those. So this is the final crisis in my eyes. This has nothing to do with the cosmology.
Yeah.
What?
Don't question it. 30 more seconds. Let's go.
What?
That's what we're arguing here. That's how comic book debating works. The old versus the new. Which one has the more powerful origin story? Which one has a superior context? One of these contexts is that it's above in a meta fiction. It's above us. It's meta. The other ones from the Scott Snyder series are below the meta. They're below the fictive membrane and don't have a meta context. And again,
you do realize every time you transcend a layer in cosmology, you look down at everything else below it as fiction. The new gods have that same. They even reference the world as bubbles in their opinion.
Yeah.
The bleed looks at us as like a moving, like a TV.
And
like all the different worlds are just TVs you can tune into and just see the story
like,
happening. Like what?
Comic curator. I have a question for you, right?
That doesn't make
even
sense.
if like, even if we don't like, even if you ignore every single debunk and explanation and context given for like every single scan you've posted, like even if you don't want to take that, right?
What?
Let's agree with you and like let's even concede to your point that they retconned everything. Why are you still on the old shit that clearly doesn't exist anymore because it's been changed? Why are you still on that?
I
Like,
don't.
if it's been retconned, then like why are you still on it? Like, just move on.
Well, he's just holding on to it. But like the thing, I can't even say it's retconned because it wasn't retconned. Cosmic Armor Superman was not retconned. Like
I know it wasn't retconned, but I'm just saying like even if we like we ignore every single thing we've said, like
I can understand you saying, well, hey, I think like the Silver Age has like the strongest cosmology, and then as a result of like Crisis on Infinite Earths, they changed the cosmology to be lesser as a result of them removing infinite worlds. I can understand that. That makes sense to me. I'm like, okay, we have a definitive story that defines these things happening and limiting the cosmology. None of that ever happened. There's nothing for that in this case, past Final Crisis.
literally.
They're in the overvoid beyond where Cosmic Armor Superman went. That's past the fictive membrane you keep referencing. It doesn't make any sense.
That's really all that needs to be said. Thanks so much for watching.
Okay, so at the end of the stream, boys, yo, no hate towards Comic Curator. I'm gonna,
Fact.
yeah, like go, yeah, like I don't hate the guy or anything. I think he's got some pretty hot takes that are pretty down bad. But I mean, it is what it is. He's another creator on YouTube, so of course I'll always reach out and give them the due respect they have. I don't agree with pretty much 90% of what he said inside this video. And I hope that maybe one day he can, like, I don't know, actually read the 2018
run.
Justice League run, and then like actually grapple with the context outside of just taking scans that make Cass look good. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that just reading that story, especially for anybody watching, will 100% take a dump on everything here. Read that in the unexpecteds, and you'll have everything you need to like realize that we've moved past the Cass scaling meta. Pretty hardcore.
Yeah, Final Crisis, Superman Beyond, Unexpected, Multiversity, and Justice League Incarnate. Because another small thing you could debunk, like he states that Mandrake's beyond the Great Darkness because it's below the source in the Overvoid. The Great Darkness was like Mandrake was the Great Darkness's avatar.
Yeah, literally.
So like
either Perpetua's or if Perpetua's in the 2018 shit, and we find out that later on, actually everybody Perpetua mind hacks was really just the Great Darknesses, so still mind hacks by the Great Darkness. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Not as big as you thought, huh? Like, rip. Unless they were just thrown on that page for fun, even though they said that like the most important crises that ever happened were literally people mind hacked, and here's his avatars, and here's what they did. But you know, it is what it is. I don't know. It's just kind of silly, dude. Cass is pretty dope. I don't hate Cass. I don't hate Comic Curator. You just gotta acknowledge where people are at, and sometimes acknowledging somebody's not where you want them to be sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, that's all you really can do.
Dude, you know how much I wish Wally West beats up the presence in the land of comic book?
Yo,
you know how much I want that shit?
Oh, you know,
Holy
Wally actually doesn't have any good scaling because whenever he picked up the Mobius chair and he traveled throughout the entire multiverse.
Yeah, that was fictive membrane.
That was all within the fictive membrane part of the multiverse. Whenever he said, I'm the strongest character who's ever been, and then traveled through all the different stories that ever were in our history, which included Final Crisis, he definitely was. That was like the fictive membrane version of Final Crisis.
True, but like the same thing like applies to like Kyle Rayner and like.
True, yeah, no, 100%, dude. Everything besides Cass, of course.
Death Battle was speaking facts about the Universal Kyle. Yo.
Darkseid in his true form, even though he exists on Apocalypse in the God Sphere, clearly was a part of that fictive membrane as well in the newer content, right?
Yeah, like even though like Superman, like President Superman not Avery, but President Superman, Dr. Multiverse, Darkseid, Barry Allen, and Wallace West, along with Superboy Prime and Harley Quinn.
True.
Even though they could all go from there and go beyond it, they're still inside of it. Trust me, scans.
Yeah. Dude, fictive membrane. That's gonna be the new meme. Fictive membrane memes down in chat, boys.
Yeah, and it's all part of the like common basis for like cosmology.
This is so funny, dude. This is so funny, man. I can't believe, like, I genuinely cannot believe that, like, somebody's going so hard on, like, casts that they'd be willing to debunk all of, like, current day cosmology. Wait, does he not think that any Godsphere character is beyond the fictive membrane?
No.
Because
like
the fictive membrane he shows is the orrery of worlds.
Okay, dude, no. Like,
what?
with the takes he has now...
I can't believe it!
No, with the takes he has now, like, he's not allowed to believe that the Godsphere transcend. Like, he can't.
I don't understand.
Like,
I don't understand how, like... I understand that, like, one world has a fictive level of transcendence that doesn't allow anybody's powers to, like, manifest there. Like, that's fair. Like, I'll grant you that one Earth that does that shit. But, like, there's still layers well beyond that.
Yeah.
What?
Like...
There's just so much there that doesn't make any sense. Yo, but this is gonna be a hell of a time for him trying to debunk this 3-hour-long video. I'm sure he'll try his hardest to make that happen. And good luck on that department, man. This is a long one. But that being said, I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. I'm sorry I didn't play as much as I thought I was going to. I got really invested into this conversation, and it was pretty hilarious, in my opinion. Thanks again for having Wally on. He definitely helped me out. He grabbed a few scans for me, and he's always a good DC reference other than myself to make sure I'm being checked by somebody. What you got to say on the way out?
Hey. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to Lumos.
Facts.
Yeah, check out his Theromax tracks. Those are fire.
Hey man, they're so underrated, man.
Yeah.
Nobody loves on the Theromax tracks enough, dude. I swear to God, they're the funnest videos I have.
And all the people in chat, go read Flash 1987 and Flash Forward.
Yeah, just don't read the first 100 issues and you'll be fine.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
Hey, if you want an idea what those first 100 issues are like, yeah, go check out my Flash Jobber video, okay? Go check out my Flash as a Jobber video. It's one of the funniest things in all of history, okay?
Chill. We don't talk about that, bro.
I tell you what, before we head out here, why don't you guys hit us up down in chat? We'll answer just some generic questions that you guys have for us whenever it comes to like DC scaling and any inverse matchups that you guys wanna talk about, since we got a little bit of time to burn. So now's your chance. Hit up the chat. I ain't been live streaming and I ain't been on as much as I normally am, so here's your chance to make it happen.
Hold on.
Where are my
Let me
boys?
pop through chat because there were some different.
Okay, let's see here. We have Dark Rex. Yo, what's up? Ooh,
Yeah.
Reality Spine saying what's up.
Yo, Mad Jim Jaspers versus Mixie.
I am not very well read on Mad Jim Jaspers, but that is a very high bar to meet.
I'd lean Mixie purely because of like his new scaling to like all of creation, like up to the source wall, like with his 2018 run shit.
Yeah,
but like, also like overpowering the entirety of the Still Force, which is creation level. Like that's kind of crazy.
I know that Mad Jim Jaspers has some pretty dope reality warping.
Yeah, facts.
But I don't think we've ever seen him threaten the full contingency of their multiverse. I know he's warped entire universes before, but Mixie was like on page unwriting everything in the source wall.
Dude, he was unwriting like the writers writing the story. Yo, beyond fictive membrane Mixie? Yo,
let's go.
Yo, I gotta get on Mixie scaling on stat. Yo, Lumos, help me out.
Apparently, man. I don't know. The fictive memes are just too fucking funny, dude. I can't take that shit. It's so goddamn funny.
Facts.
Okay, let's see. A little bit of honesty from curator would be nice, yeah.
Opinion on the new deceased issue?
I ain't read that shit. What happened in that? Who died this time?
We don't talk about it. that's when the Spectre and Mixie started fighting.
Oh, they started beefing real hard?
Yeah. Hold on. I've got vague memory. Let me pop to it real quick.
We'll answer this now. We'll just read it live. Yo, big W's to all y'all in chat too, man. Y'all the homies, man. I swear to God.
Fact. Okay, deceased.
Oh, Jesus Entertainment asks what's his channel. His name is Comic Curator. Feel free to check out his content. He's got a lot. He's been around for a minute. And he's pretty big on core too, if memory serves right.
Yeah, so Lobo pulled up and was hilarious as fuck. Even though he didn't do anything in the story. Yeah, Spectre and Mixie were fighting. That fight was cool as hell because it really showed like the difference in scale between like the cosmic tiers and like the heroes.
Yeah.
Because like the fifth Mixie was stated as like the Green Lantern Corps were like trying to restrain him, and it stated like of all those like brave warriors able to overcome fear to face a fifth dimensional horror, and they were like gnats, Mixie just puts them all in his hand and just crushes them, and you see all their rings like blow up.
Oh no,
dude!
No, the Lantern's eating it, boys.
Yeah, High Father pulling up was kind of, along with like the New Gods being like possessed, was crazy. Yeah, no, Superman fucking blitzing Mixie and like doing damage was kind of crazy, and like giving. Yeah, no, everything was crazy. Alfred becoming the Spectre was also wild.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That was pretty whack shit.
Dude, that was crazy. Like, that was actually inspiring as fuck. So, like, I don't know. These
Alfred's
issues,
a
I
homie.
think
Alfred needs more, bro. Alfred just needs more, bro. I'm telling you.
I think Alfred has his own solo run that's happening recently. I think.
All right.
I could be like misinterpreting.
I got a request for somebody to drop this in the description, so y'all might have to reload, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop it now.
Wait, what you adding?
This guy's video.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna also add a no hate towards Comic Curator. You know, I might ping him. I'll ping him. That way he doesn't think I'm not trying to
yeah,
not involve him or whatever. Cause like he said it was like a year since he saw that last one. It's like, I mean, I don't know, like, oh, I can't. Can I not ping him in here? Big rip. Let's see if I can ping him up here. Yeah, there we go. I'll just ping him in the title.
Yeah. But everyone in chat, don't forget my homework, bro. Read Flash, bro. Read Flash. It's peak.
Read Flash, but only if you want a Sudoku, okay?
Nah, don't listen to Lumos.
I'm waiting for the good part. 75 issues in, and he's fucking tripping on goddamn waxed shit on the floor, okay?
Yo, outer versal wax, okay? Chill.
Yeah, apparently.
Fictive membrane wax, bro.
Oh, that's it. It's fictive membrane. Yeah, that does make sense.
Exactly.
I take it back.
Bro, you can't.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
Can't be
you got
me. My boy like that.
Yeah,
bro.
you got me. You got me.
I did. I know, bro. Dude, bro.
All right.
God, what else? Shit is too funny.
What else y'all got in chat? Well, we got a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, Rocket Alice, Injustice Alfred is the GOAT. Facts.
Definitely not wrong. Definitely not wrong on that one, dude. I really gotta catch up on my memes and Injustice, dude.
Yeah.
I know you got that Injustice tie-in coming out here real soon, which is pretty fire.
Yeah. Yo, Lumos, when's the Trigon hate video coming out?
We do need to make that. We gotta make that real fucking bad, dude. I'm so tired of these comments. I get 3 comments today on fucking Trigon.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yo, Comic Curator, if you're still watching this, we don't hate or make hate videos on Cosmic Armor Superman. We do that shit for Trigon.
Yeah, facts. Because you know the cast fans go pretty hard and they take him up way fucking crazy hardcore.
Yeah, but
nothing worse than the Trigon
worse.
fans. There's literally nothing worse than the Trigon fans.
Literally.
Holy shit.
Yo, Rockedalis, what blasphemy are you talking about? Vandal Savage with a gun over Wally. What
It
blasphemy?
happened. Check out my video on it, dude.
Dude, that's a fictive membrane platonic concept gun. So, yeah, nah. Debunked.
You got him there. Yo, that
Yo.
Parallax 0 hour Hal Jordan video. Yo, I've got a guy working on it, and I'm not gonna mention his name for his safety. But yeah,
for legal reasons.
apparently this fucking Parallax Hal Jordan video has blown up his computer like twice. So like, he literally had to return one of his computers because apparently the Parallax Hal Jordan video is too much to contain, dude.
Dude,
not
membrane?
not even the fictive membrane could contain it. Okay, that should
Damn,
give you an
that's
idea of how
crazy,
extreme this thing is. Okay,
bro.
but trust me, it's gonna happen. It's a banger video. I've been literally putting them in a headlock, trying to get them to finish it up, and I'm literally just waiting for them to finish their computer. The reason why I can't take the video from them right now is it's half processed inside one of their files for a specific program, and I don't use that program because it takes fucking it takes like 700 years to like fucking make that shit work.
Yo, Lumos, Don confused Q versus fictive membrane Wally. Yo, who wins?
Let's go.
Oh yeah, how far is Superman getting against the Lantern Corps?
I think that like just green would be my question. I think if it's just green, if you have everyone there, I don't think he's probably going to walk out, probably due to weird hacks and shit like that. Because like the whole core, especially in Unison, have really, really whack moments of like being capable of like holding down like the anti-monitor, like in a bubble and stuff like that. That's pretty scary.
I'm gonna be honest, with like current day Superman and like other characters who've like soloed the Lantern Corps, if the big boy Lanterns like Hal Jordan or like John Stewart aren't there, I could see him soloing it.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
The amount of fodders on there is like disgusting. But like, yeah, like with like no Hal Jordan, probably even if the Guardians are there because they all suck.
Okay, if you give the Guardians there and the Lantern Corps, this shit is gonna be over. They're gonna mind hacks the fuck out of Supes, in my opinion.
Nah, he's got like mind hacks protection from like Martian Manhunter, so like negged.
That's okay. Well, that same Martian Manhunter, his whole race, they like auto wiped. So like I don't know, man.
Yeah, but that same Martian
Guardians. I mean, worst case scenario, they just BFR him to a separate place entirely, like they did Prime, and Prime couldn't come back. And that's just one of the Guardians. You get like multiple of them together, bro. Like, I don't know.
Like Superman has the new like beyond time and space shit, so like he just come back from a BFR, unless it's like somewhere crazy, like the Speed Force or something.
I mean, the Guardians can make portals into higher dimensional realms.
Damn. Yeah, dude, but those are only like realms
Get
in
that
like
hangs out with the fucking quintessence. You telling me they can't do
dude,
this shit?
Listen,
Come on, chill.
Listen,
okay,
those
chill.
those are only realms within the fictive membrane, bro.
Yo,
like, it's not
if the Guardians collectively can look at Larfleeze and teleport him away at will, look, that shit ain't changing, okay? That shit is not gonna be any different. If they can teleport themselves into the antimatter universe, trust me, they could do it, all right? Chill.
That's just fictive membrane antimatter universe.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Not impressive.
Like individually, I agree. I think that was a very understandable assessment. Like individually, if it's just the Lantern Corps, like all the randoms, no Earths, like no. With all the Lanterns with Earth, especially if like Hal perceives him as evil, like this is like a no moral situation for like the Lanterns. I definitely see the Lanterns with like the Earth Lanterns coming up. But like once you start throwing Guardians in and shit, like the extra hacks and coordination that they get, I think is just too fucking annoying.
The way I see it is like no Earth characters, Superman's like soloing pretty hard. If you add like the lower tier, like Simon Baz and like Jessica Cruz,
they're not gonna be able to fight. Yeah,
he'd still solo. If it was like Guy Gardner along with them, I think he would probably still.
I could
solo
see him
with
still
his new
taking
shit.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like Kyle Rayner and John Stewart, that's when shit gets interesting as hell.
Yeah. Then we're in like, this is like we're gonna get frustrating now. Like it's very difficult in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like the different combinations of like who's there
Yeah.
Like, if it's all the Earth Lanterns and, like, the fodders, yeah, I think, like, Superman gets, like, clapped up pretty hard. If it's, like, a combination between,
once
like,
John
one or
gets
two,
there, once John gets there, things get incredibly difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not because John is so, like, absurdly strong or anything. It's the hacks that he offers.
Yeah.
Because
It's
he
like-
can create kryptonite on the fly, and he can create large kryptonite objects as well, which is
yeah.
not like Superman unto itself. Like, if it was just John, would be able to deal with that. But he's got to dodge the other 37 lanterns who are going to encase them all in a big bubble, and dodge the kryptonite that he'll now be wielding and rolling around in. And if you think it's something that he wouldn't do, he's actively used kryptonite against Zod before, whenever he knew he had to fight him. So like, I don't even think that that's unbelievable.
Yo, Jessica Cruz over Superman is crazy to me.
Jessica Cruz does have a dumb statement by Soups one time.
Captain America versus Itachi. Yeah, Itachi would have, like, Captain America already in this genjutsu. You're mad?
Captain America would fucking flex off Itachi's genjutsu. Itachi might hurt himself trying to put Captain America in genjutsu.
Yo, Captain America would be like, "Hi, you didn't get me in your genjutsu," but like this whole time he'd be in his genjutsu.
This man just started watching Naruto, so he's hyping on the Naruto train right now.
Bro,
The Naruto
you're just
copium,
mad.
holy shit.
You're so mad. You're
Oh
so
yeah,
mad.
if Soda Miata's there, yeah, that's pretty scary. Like if Soda Miata shows up with the lantern ring, that's also somebody who I wouldn't say isn't gonna beat him up solo even with that lantern ring, but he should be in same ranges. Like I wouldn't see that as like absurdly crazy or anything like that. Let's see, just casters. But yeah, so I tell you what, guys, it's been an absolute blast hanging out with y'all. God, it's been a long ass stream. Thanks for hanging out and honestly just talking about stuff with me. It's always so good to just jump on here like once a week or so and just be able to hang out with you guys, man.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest W, dude. You guys make the multiverse worth working.
Yeah.
But
And I'm just happy to be on here, bro.
yeah, facts. It's so good to have you. I'm glad I could have you again because it's been a minute. I've just been so damn busy. But
Fact.
we're gonna go ahead and pop off here. If you guys have any more questions or anything along those lines, leave me a comment section down low. Do not go and hate on Comment Curator. Don't be violent with him. Don't cause hate chats. We don't do anything like that in the Theromax Corps. That's for weaker, lesser scumfuck YouTubers to go do. It's okay to chase the truth, but it's not okay to chase the truth until you murder somebody, okay?
Yeah.
Or make them want to off themselves because you're so fucking hard on them. All right?
But
People-
everyone hate on Moore for saying Naruto over Wally. That shit was crazy as fuck.
He's so bad.
That's a wild take.
But I
Yeah.
guess we're gonna end it on there and probably head over to the Discord and hang out. Y'all don't work too hard out there. Later,
Hey,
Lanterns.
fact. Peace. Alright, so that's ended.
3